Ladies and gentlemen, everybody watching, this is winners quarters. Getting into it, top 16. Let's go.
Where are we going?
So right away, SQ doing a great job, doing a ton of pressure, doing what Ram does best, put you in the corner, trying to make a get.
I mean, that's going to be the key here. There's the burst from Trevor, just trying to get some space. 1.5 bars of blood, gets the knockdown with the triple slash, and here's the pressure. Blood spin, the 5K, really good from Trevor to keep SQ grounded and gets a command grab as well.
Yeah, that was a really great command grab. Wasn't really expecting it. But SQ doing a really good job with the Rekka, sending Nago back into the corner from whence he came. And oh, I like the overhead there, trying to mix up the pressure. But geez, this blocking from Treadward is incredible right now.
I mean, patience is one of the skills you need if you're Nago and you're blocking. But the opening of the can with the Rekka into the finish, SQ going to take first blood here at ARCREVO.
Yeah, so really the question is now, where can Trevor find those openings like they did in the middle of the match? Tries to jump out, but SQ was ready for it, gets a nice counter hit, chooses to stop the Rekka early, and gets thrown for it. I think they were trying to go for a setup there, but unfortunately does get caught and forces the burst.
Trevor is such a strong component when it comes to forcing the burst, but the windshield wiper blasting Trevor back. YRC, my turn, please. Trevor going on the assault, but a defensive throw from SQ, and Trevor immediately using the get out of jail button.
Yeah, Trevord's got to be careful here because his blood is reaching a kind of critical level, so he's got to watch that, else he gets in trouble. The huge counter hit from SQ, the sword explodes. This is a great combo, and it finishes the round. SQ puts one up on the board.
We see SQ using that far slash and heavy slash, which goes a little bit further to just keep Trevor honest and really blocking in that neutral space, something that Nago often doesn't have to do once the blood grade is straight.
That's very true. Ooh, forces a really early burst. That could be something that comes back to bite SQ later in the round, depending on how it goes, but gets hit with a low. Trevor getting a little bit of blood here and really has to be careful. Again, huge counter hit, another burst.
Trevor jumps out, red RC to continue this combo triple slash series into the wall. 6H and through we go. Trevor getting some positive bonus. Going to try to continue to press forward. Great 6P using the upper body and vulnerability to go through that far slash. Trevor seems to be locked in this game and takes first blood in game 2.
That was a really strong round from Trevor. I like the adjustments that they made, especially like challenging more of the lows from SQ there.
It's going to be really important for Trevor to make sure that SQ can't just get away with the low normals to continue to move forward. Trevor taking a huge chunk out of SQ's life, and there's another one with the 5H. Trevor knocking at the door for 1-all and does with the throw. Trevor woke up, got some smelling salt in the nose, was like, oh, ARCREVO, okay, I'm locked in.
Yeah, they were locked in with a perfect. That's definitely an answer. Like, SQ was so dominant that first round, and Trevor said, no, I can play this game as well. So we're 1-1 getting into this third game here. Ooh, then starting off, God, that's such a huge counter hit. Look how much damage that does.
Trevor taking a huge chunk out of SQ's life. Once again, SQ's starting to move forward here. Here's the goal first, got some money, trying to make it funny. SQ fighting back, but Trevor got a lot of resource. Here comes the super.
Oh, that was a really smart cancel because it didn't land, so the PRC just had enough to make that work out. That was good because that could have been devastating for Trevor, but right now, SQ, just hit him with the 5P. Bonk.
A little bit of a 5P after the blood spin. Trevor looking much more comfortable. The lift into the skies. Huge damage at round start. Trevor feeling themselves.
Yeah, Trevor is really feeling, like I said, they're feeling themselves, except right there when as soon as I say that, SQ gets a really optimal corner combo, ends it with the super as well, sends him through the side, positive meter bonus. What else we got?
We got 6H into Mortal Bato. We're going in to Duel 3 SQ fighting back, and all it takes is one big conversion in that neutral space to put Nago into a really terrible situation.
Right, and it really has felt like they're contesting over the neutral, which is really cool to see in a game that focuses a lot on combos. And
it's one of those things where you have to contest the neutral because don't nobody want to block against either one of these characters in the corner, let me tell you.
No, although they're both doing an exceptional job. Looking
that risk gauge looking mad high though. Even a 2K right now can cause a heavy counter. Cannot open up the doors. There's the dash up throw, and SQ gonna let him know. Trevor at the wall into the Mortal Bato again. More positive bonus in a game deciding exchange for SQ.
Yeah, I really like the way that SQ there decided to go for the grab after all of that pressure didn't end up working. Because at that point, I don't think Trevor was expecting the grab. And that risk gauge, like you had pointed out, was cranked to the max. So it did so much damage.
Going into game 4 here. SQ up 2-1, sitting on game point. Heavy slash opening Trevor up. Back into the corner they go. Trevor needs to figure out how to get out of this. No resources available to stop this assault. Just got to guess right and ended up being wrong. SQ again on the advantage.
Yeah, we're paying particularly close attention to the swords and how SQ is picking them up to maintain pressure. Uses a PRC to just try and change up some of the momentum. I'm expecting a grab. There it is. Just because nothing else was working. But Trevor, look at all this chip he's taken. Yeah, this is it. That's it.
I think Trevor would block for like 25 seconds there. Somebody's gonna have to send some assistance. Match point SQ.
Yeah, Trevor has to make some pretty big adjustments or do something like that where SQ bursts in a really inopportune moment.
Yeah, this is big for Trevor. Gonna have the ability to pressure at the corner. Nice jump through with the jump slash from SQ, and now Trevor again blocking it up. Doesn't want to make a mistake. The sword's gonna send it. Trevor might be at the end.
Yeah, okay, does force a burst, but that was a really nice recovery from SQ after that really risky burst. However, Trevor making a huge comeback here, chooses to use a super for the extra damage with the wall break as well.
And gonna get the blood pulse into the reverse, so gonna empty out that blood gauge as well. This is what Trevor needs.
Yes, yes, it really does. Okay, nice. Hits it with the overhead, so SQ still 1 round away for taking this game, but Trevor showing signs of life, which is really good.
It's absolutely good. Trevor needs every round that they can get the clash and the awareness to spin it out so we can win it out. SQ getting lifted up with the charge D and now at the wall, but the blood gauge pops.
Oh,
this
no.
could be terrible. SQ has meter to use super as well. Calvados could do a ton of damage, ends up dropping Trevor with mask on.
Whips 2 grabs in a row. This is... Oh no, but gets grabbed in return. Oh no, and then...
Block on the burst! Oh,
my
Trevor.
goodness. Trevward, okay, look, I'm gonna say it. Trevward made a big mistake by not keeping an eye on that blood gauge, and it could have, should have killed him. But unfortunately, that burst from SQ was devastating.
Look, Trevor just... The mental awareness to be able to shrug off a blood gauge pop when you don't want it, and then to say, I'm still focused, I'm still going to pay attention and block the burst in the corner, that is why both of these players are in top 16 winners of ARCREVO America.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So now it's 2-2. How is this our first match of the entire ARCREVO, and it's 2-2 already?
I told you, the Central Region got some heat. Trevor with the 6P forced the burst out of SQ, but now back on the defensive. SQ so good at turning a defensive situation into quick offensive pressure. There's the dash up throw. Been working all day for SQ.
Yeah, it really has. Still using that sword pressure, but a jump out from Trevor unfortunately does not pay off. It gets put right back in the corner where they seem to be paying rent.
Oh my goodness, and it's going to be a full month plus the last month as well, because Trevor is going to be moving into a familiar spot, which is facing another match point from SQ.
Yeah, that was just some nice capitalization on some small mistakes from SQ, and now getting into this, SQ being a little bit more careful than we've seen them play.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, right, where you want to close out strong. That heavy slash, again, to challenge the 5H, especially the non-buff version, working out incredibly well at the moment. SQ with the purple RC off the Rekkas. Trevor's got to find an area here, and the 5P secures the skies, but you got to block again.
Yeah, once again, the risk gauge is cranked to the max. Blue RC to try and get out, unfortunately gets counter hit, and all that risk just takes tons of damage off of Trevor. He's got one more mix.
One last chance for the dance. Trevor with the defensive throw can make it happen with Nago. Blocked up the Mortal Bato, but the red RC, and again, SQ on the assault.
Yeah, just really trying to get in there and finish this right now. But
Oh!
unfortunately for them, Trevor comes in with a great counter.
This is so exciting. Last game, last round, the very first match of ARCREVO America Central. 6P blowing back the doors. SQ got to use burst immediately.
Yeah, so we said this wasn't going to disappoint, and we did not lie. Right now,
No lies
SQ
being
coming in.
told.
Yeah, SQ coming in with a really nice aerial combo, sending Trevor back into the corner from whence they came.
Again, this right side is Trevor's home, and SQ making sure that they stay there. Gonna need to figure out a way out. Blood is at about 1.5. Might want to look to an escape and has to use the burst windshield wiper block, but kept safe with the RC. Look at this pressure from SQ. I mean, just knocking away.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. Ooh, jumps out of that grab, which is really beneficial for SQ. Gets a nice combo off of it and puts Trevor back in the corner. There's the grab. Come on. Okay, there we go. I was like, you don't have meter to do a super, do something. And SQ does end up taking it.
SQ doing more than something, doing a lot. The way that SQ was able to just hammer away at Trevor's guard and then just sneak in the dash up throws, right? And while it's easy to say, oh, okay, well, if they're blocking a lot, just dash up and throw. One, much harder to do against players who are as skilled as Trevor. And two, against Nago especially, if that throw, even if that throw gets 5P'd, the conversion off of that can just do a grip of damage. So SQ wisely using it at the best times to keep Trevor on their toes, and that's why they're going to be moving on into top 8 winner's side.
Yeah, wow. That was that was how is this just our first batch of top 16? This is not okay.
Listen, I told everyone to get all of the stuff they're going to need to snack on, to hydrate with immediately, because I already knew these matches were going to be heat, and this is just number one. You know what? I don't know if we're going to be able to make it to the end of this, but we're going to do it together as a community who loves Guilty Gear Strive. So listen, the next one is going to be Flair versus Devil Chip. Obviously, Devil Chip, I would be upset if they're not picking Chip. Not quite sure who Flair plays, but you know, Chip, one of those characters that you're really working your APM at maximum, right? Like you're forcing your opponents to guess. You want to put mix after mix, and if you don't, and you end up getting hit, it hurts a lot.
Yeah, and that's the thing though, but if Chip gets hit, he's probably dead. You know, Chip has a lot of mix, has a lot of, you know, incredible surprises that he can pull off, especially with his alpha blades and side switching. If you just happen to not block correctly, then it's a whole problem, and you know, has some great combo extensions which can lead to death. And yeah, I think there was a little meme going around a while ago that was like, just kill Chip, but you have to catch him. He's very fast.
He's incredibly fast. It's like a horsefly with a butcher knife. You just can't really commit to trying to hit Chip where he is. You got to hit him where he's going to be. And that can be easier said than done. Speaking of tools to use to continue pressure, that command grab that Chip has goes really far. So it's one of those scenarios where if you see a really skilled Chip player, you got to look for the patterns. You really have to look for what they like to use. So Flair on the Leo is going to have the opportunity to turn things around, right? Because you got flash kick, right? That's your invulnerability. You got the ability to use your, abilities just to zone things out with your projectile as well. And home base is saying Devil Chip plays Leo, so excuse us. We got into the wrong thing. Already mixed, just like a Leo player, just like him. I knew you cannot trust them. You cannot trust them. You can't trust those Leo players out here.
Like, but your name is Chip with 2 P's. No, I'm sad.
That's the whole point. That's the whole point. You can't trust them whatsoever. They tell you that they're nice. They seem really nice, like nice people, and then they're just flash kicking you on Oki every time. You can't get your pressure in. Unfortunate. But again, obviously, Leo, very strong character. We witnessed a Leo take it all down at CEO. Big ups to K7 for winning that tournament with the largest offline Strive tournament that we've had to date. And, that Leo put in some work.
Yeah, it did. And if you didn't get a chance to see those finals, they were spectacular. And it was nice. And it is currently nice to see that there's a huge character diversity in this, at both at CEO and here at ARCREVO. So we are so
Okay.
mixed. Flair plays
All right, sure.
Chip and Devil Chip plays Leo. So don't get
I'm done.
confused.
Done with
See,
these
there
guilty
was a
gear
reason we
players.
were talking about Chip.
I'm done. I'm so done. Second winners quarters. First to three, as always. Let's get it.
All right, so coming into this, a lot of what Chip needs to do is just mix this Leo up and just just like that, using Alpha Blade to switch sides, using the command grab and regular grabs too, because they're both excellent tools for Flair.
Oh yeah, Flair's gonna rely on that a lot. There's the RC into the Alpha Blade air scoop from Devil Chip. Back turn stance. Show him how you dance. Went for the throw and got punished. Flair escaping a very bad scenario.
Yeah, just uses the RC to get some pressure. Comes in with that nice overhead. Wall break is counting up, tries to use a DP. Unfortunately, it whiffs with that really nice movement from Chip and gets punished for it.
Big punishment there. Flair managing to continue the pressure and stay alive, but now you got to guess again. Devil Chip swinging for real. Overhead opens up the dome again. Flair stuck in the corner.
Oh, this is a Leo round. Goodness gracious. That's just sometimes when you're watching something, you're like, this is a combo video. That's kind of what it felt like. However, it's not over till it's over, and Flair did a nice job trying to, at least not make it perfect.
You know what? Sometimes you just gotta let your opponent know you're still awake at the wheel so that the next round they won't maybe go as YOLO, but this is a Leo player we're talking about. Dash up throw, gold burst from Flair. Got a lot of resources to use. There's the RC and gets a connection off of it and lifts him up again.
Oh my goodness, that was... I really felt like Flair could have punished Devil Chip's burst there, but didn't. I think they were just kind of concerned with being stuck in the corner there. Now, Flair is stuck in the corner, getting hit with the projectile from Leo. They're trying to fight their way out of it. Good counter hit, though, resetting back to the center of the screen.
Blade side switch. Flair trying to stay out of that threat range of Devil Chip. Still has work to do as the life lead is not on their side. Projectile's going to connect. And Devil Chip again using meter to try to fight their way out. But Flair just relentless. There's the air scoop.
Wow, that was a really nice challenge to the throw. You'd love to see a tech in the game. But, geez, neither of these two out of it. Okay, does get grabbed, finally. And Devil Chip going to take that with the Leo, not Flair with the chip. I'm so mixed on that.
Gear. Welcome to Guilty Gear. They mix you at character select. That's the way that the game is played. And Flair is going to have to play a little bit faster if they want to tie things up one game apiece.
Yeah. So this is a really strong start, just like we saw in the first game for Flair, doing a great job. I like the upwards RC dash that they keep doing. It's really nice. It gives them some air options. Unfortunately for them, they are now hit with Leo. Back turn stance, RC of Leo's own. Oh my god, just dash through.
Devil Chip is out here listening to a different kind of song, but the leaf grab coming through for Flair. Gonna have some Oki here, goes low. Devil Chip blocking it up, gets hit with the cross-up Alpha Blade, and another grab. Devil Chip must be the devil of Chip because they are throwing Flair every time they attempt to cross up with an Alpha Blade.
That Leo dash through, the multiple dash through, I'm like, okay, you took mix-up literally and decided what side am I on? I don't know. But getting into this one, Flair has a little bit of work to do here, as just with 2 hits, Leo does hit really hard. Took a significant portion of Flair's health.
Purple IC projectile. Flair tried to purple IC to not commit. Does get clipped up just a little bit. Devil Chip is in again, and now Flair hemmed up in the corner. Got to figure out a way to escape. Does with the jump out Alpha Blade. Overhead connects as well. Yeah, this is going to be really good for Flair.
Yeah, oh, and I really like the way that they use that side switch, and then doesn't decide to do anything fancy. Use the extra damage from the wall break to secure the round. That was smart.
Smart stuff from Flair. Jump back though for Devil Chip. Going to convert here. Back turn stance activated in a full conversion. And that was 40% life just like that. But a wake up throw from Flair.
Jeez. Yeah, really nice turnaround here from Flair. Takes the wall, takes the extra damage, which is great. They have that positive bonus. Unfortunately, does get grabbed and does not tech. That burst was really questionable, and now is stuck in the corner, and all that wall bounce property, Chip turned into a basketball.
That was a really rough situation. The projectile closing it out, dying with full tension is Flair, and Devil Chip happily going up 2-0.
Yeah, so I know we're getting right back into it, but I feel like Flair needs some different routes in order to mix Devil Chip up, because look at that. Oh my god, somebody said it in chat. Devil Chip's air throws are immaculate.
No, ground throws too. Devil Chip is slinging Flair around like a sack of potatoes, and Flair's gonna have to keep Devil Chip guessing because all the answers are on Devil Chip's side.
Yeah, they are. I mean, Flair is download complete right now, and Devil Chip just has the answers.
Oh my goodness. Match point for Devil Chip. They have not been phased by Flair's mixes at all.
No, huge counter hit DP from Devil Chip. Setting up, okay, does tech the grab there, but come in with another grab. Why not? Who expects that?
No one's gonna grab me 2 times in a row. That's ridiculous.
Yes, this is a lot of pressure, doesn't get hit by the dust, which leaves a lot of open opportunities for Devil Chip. Does get counter hit with a Beta Blade though, and gets crossed over. Chip doing what he does best, trying to just get out of the situation, but another questionable burst.
Oh, Devil Chip just must have saw the test before the day, because another air throw. And let me tell you something, Devil Chip sailing through the skies, clean and easy 3-0 into winner's top 8. I don't think I've seen as many air throws in my life. That was a display of just knowledge from Devil Chip.
It really was. I mean, every time that Flair tried to get something going in the air, it was either met with an incredible counter hit DP or a really great dash up air grab. It was very well played from Devil Chip. He obviously knew that matchup, because if you don't know that matchup, you can get mixed very, very quickly.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like if you're not aware, if you're unsure of what your opponent's going to do, it can leave you confused as the chip players flying all over the screen. But every time Flair got started, Devil Chip was just ready with a throw, with the correct block sequence, with an ability to mash out when necessary. It never looked like Devil Chip was in a rough spot. Even when they lost a round, it looked like, okay, well, that was a round down, but I'm starting this one out correctly, and that was it.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think it's a really good point that it felt like Devil Chip the entire time was in control. Like you said, yes, they went down a couple rounds, but they didn't lose a game in that entire set. So there was a lot of control that they displayed and a lot of matchup knowledge, which is something that at this point in the bracket is something that you really want to see from your players. And I think that's great, because he's going to now be on the winner's side of our top 8.
Hats off to Devil Chip for getting there, and we'll see what they can do tomorrow to continue their run. But we're going to be moving into our third winners quarters, and it's going to be Flash Metroid versus Velvet. Flash, a Axel player, and Velvet, a Nago player. So, yikes! Velvet's got some work to do. It can be
Yes.
it can be really tough for Nago depending on the blood gauge situation.
Yeah, and just like you had mentioned earlier that we got to see Leo, in the grand finals of CEO, we also got to see a lot of Axel in CEO as well, which I think is something that a lot of people weren't expecting, but we did get to see some fantastic Axel gameplay. So maybe Flash was watching, maybe Flash was, taking some notes and seeing what they could learn to do better, because I feel like Axel plays at a range that Nago doesn't want to be at. And that's going to make it really hard for Velvet to play into this.
Certainly. I mean, it is one of those things where if you're playing against Axel, for most characters, you have to really just be willing to lose some health to get in on Axel. And the issue with Nago is once the blood gauge is cranked and you don't have any specials to use, if you're stuck at full screen, there's only a few things that you can do. You know, you can try to use some of your attention to drift RC in on opportune spaces. You can try to find some ways to high jump in, but it can be a really difficult time. So it's going to be up to Velvet to really decide how and where they want to pressure Flash in order to stay out of those almost war of attrition scenarios.
Yeah, and Flash in chat right now saying, I took mad notes. So that makes me really happy. Because there was some incredible Axel gameplay that we got to see then, and I'm guessing we're going to see some really great Axel gameplay now. But I love all the points that you just brought up too about the matchup, but especially because you're a Nago player too, right? So you know this. You know the ranges Nago needs to play at. You know the tools that he needs to work with. So highlighting that, I think, is really important to help us all understand the struggle bus that Velvet just bought a ticket to.
Yeah, so Velvet bought a round trip ticket too. So this is not just in the old Axel. This is a Flash Metroid, you know. So it's gonna be an effort. However, that doesn't necessarily mean it's free for Flash, right? Like Velvet got here for a reason, and I'm sure that they fought a Nago before in their life. So let's get into it. Game number 3 of winners quarters finals here at ARCREVO America 2021 Central Qualifier. Velvet versus Flash Metroid.
Oh boy, this is. I mean, I say, oh man, this is going to be a great match. Like the other ones haven't been great matches, but I think this is going to be a really incredible show of what these two characters can do. I love that it's just jump back poke at round start 2. What are you going to do?
Absolutely. I mean, as many sickle flashes as Flash can set down in the beginning, that's going to set the tone for the rest of the match. We see Velvet trying to use the clone to cover some ground here. A huge home run swing, and this is one way to do it. This is where you want to be, but blown back, that blood gauge mad high, and here it is. You got to use your meter. You got to use your health to get in and play patient.
Yeah, Flash Metroid is sending out a lot of things, but Velvet is being forced to use their tension just to FD everything, because otherwise they'd be taking a lot of damage. And I love the way Flash Metroid is playing this slow, taking hits where they can.
Oh!
No way, that was incredibly smart. Forces a burst out of Flash Metroid. We still have the time on it. What a combo!
Another command grab. Flash setting that pace early on, doing all the things that you want to do as an Axel player, but Velvet not out over yet. Nago can do some damage. Blood gauge is maxed though. Oh no.
This is a huge problem. That was a free punish.
Yeah, Flash was well aware to stay away from Velvet now that when that blood gauge was high. Didn't want to get hit with the pop and able to capitalize.
Yeah, okay, so now this is a little bit different where Flash Metroid was put in a position where Nago is really quite at an advantage, but really great blocking and backdashing here to reset the position.
Oh my goodness, Flash with the anti-air as well. The blue RC to the skies. I don't know if Flash was taking notes or sending notes because this is looking mad clean from them so far.
Yeah, the decision-making process is excellent. I love the way they just keep playing come to me, come to my game plan. They're forcing Velvet to play in such a way that I don't think they're comfortable.
Oh, you're definitely not comfortable as an Nago player in this range, you know? Again, you see Velvet try to go for the spin there, immediately sniped out by the 2H and Flash, as you said, so wisely, playing it slowly, getting the life lead and saying, now you're playing at my pace.
Yeah, and I really honestly think that Velvet is having a hard time with this because a lot of people in Guilty Gear want to play fast because it's a fast-paced game. And when you're faced with somebody like Flash Metroid who is cool, calm, collected, calculated, and honestly really slow-paced, what do? They're just getting hit after hit after hit, and these clotheslines are brutal.
It's looking really rough right now for Velvet. Flash now changing the rhythm, getting aggressive a little bit, trying to force a mistake out from Velvet. And this is super smart because it forces your opponent to get used to a different pace, and then you back off just like that. Flash Metroid is playing this clinically, by the book, and keeping themselves at huge advantage states.
Yeah, and the thing that's crazy too is that they're oh no, we'll come back to that real quick. Oh, I was holding my breath. So at the end of that there, even though Flash Metroid had positive bonus, they were put into a danger state, but it didn't matter because they were still gaining meter.
Velvet starting out the round aggressive, but you see the moment Velvet gets to that 2+ bars of blood, Flash strikes, pushes Velvet away full screen, and then forces him to just sit there. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, he's forcing Velvet to babysit the blood gauge. And then as soon as Velvet takes his eyes off of it, he's ready to pop. And look at it right now. The same thing is happening.
Oh, incredible backdash. Go on the other side from Flash. Velvet getting a throw here. 6H finally getting some momentum here. Needs to be careful though. That blood gauge is going to go up. Gets a regular throw, but it's going to go max. Pops at the screen. Flash on the defense.
Yeah, fortunately for Velvet, they were close. They were close enough that when he went into blood, that pop put Axel into the crumple state, so he wasn't able to get a punish immediately, but it didn't matter. Really, really clean gameplay from Flash Metroid here, but Velvet is showing a few signs of life.
Certainly showing a couple of signs of life. Going for the just regular throws, getting some pressure started that way without spending blood is going to be the start of it. Incredible command grab again from Flash. And another one. Velvet is getting tossed all over the screen.
Yeah, oh, nice 2K2D. Just to stop the incoming assault from Velvet, I feel like Flash is, unless something miraculous comes out from Velvet, they've pretty much got this one.
Yeah, it's looking strongly in Flash's favor. Velvet gets a JS, nothing off of it, gets the blood spin. Now it's up to Velvet on how they're going to approach, because again, the blood gauge is mad high.
Yeah, incredibly high. Has to do something here, or else Flash Metroid is going to be able to take full advantage of it. Okay, air throw. Oh. All right.
Match point for Flash Metroid, and it is looking super clean for them. Gets lit up by the close slash. Velvet finally with some momentum without using blood. Flash does have burst and decides to use it, and we're right back to where we started.
Yeah, now, although this is a really great start for Velvet, I would not call Flash out of this. Gets a nice grab, switches sides, and now puts Velvet into the corner so they can start their own pressure. And, more importantly, so they can start backdashing and establish the spacing that Flash Metroid really wants.
Wants to space themselves all the way in the top 8. Last chance, last dance for Velvet. Gonna have to make some magic happen here, and doesn't. Sniped out by the JS fadeaway from Flash at the buzzer. That's gonna be a 3-0.
That was a clean 3-0 from Flash, honestly.
It was incredibly clean 3-0, and it was one of those things where if you look up, you know, I'm an Axel player. How do I fight against Nago Ryuki? Watch this match, right? Just watch this match, and you will learn everything you need to know about at least the beginnings and the intermediates of how do I stop Nago as Axel, because Flash played it just incredibly clean.
You know what I really liked about the way that Flash played that, and it was something I pointed out earlier about how slowly they were taking the game. When Velvet tried to speed up the tempo to get it more towards something that they were comfortable with, Flash still adjusted and was able to play at that faster tempo, which some players can't do as well. You know, it's things like that when you know you're playing against somebody who's experienced and who has a lot of gameplay knowledge, when they can make that kind of adjustment and play into, you know, what their opponent really wants. So that was a really nice adjustment that in addition to the incredible gameplay, the good matchup knowledge, the great combos, the setups with the supers and all of that, that set Flash apart in this matchup. So they are going to be moving on into our top 8.
Yeah, hats off to Flash for moving on into winner side top 8. And Velvet not out of it, right? Obviously has the loser side to go through, and sometimes it takes, you know, that first kind of knock on the chin to get your sense about you. And so we'll see if they can continue moving on. Our fourth and last winners quarterfinals match will be Jan versus Flowerman. Flowerman, a Chicago local, so big ups to the homie out there. Jan, one of the noted anime players from Houston, H-Town, so hats off to them as well. This is going to be Milia versus Potemkin, which, oh man, this is going to be quite interesting, and there are a lot of danger zones around the big guy when you get close to him, so Flowerman's going to have to be careful.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, is that these two players are incredibly familiar with each other, both of them having a significant fighting game resume. Both are top players in multiple other games, including BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, where they have met so many times. Jan known for playing big body characters in no matter what game he plays. And Flower Man is all about the finesse in their characters. I know they play Fairy and Granblue. They play Hilda 9 as one of their teams in cross tag. So and then Milia in here, they like finesse.
they like to shine. And what perfect character for Flower Man than Milia, right? Got the flower as well on from the hair on the normals. Just fantastic character for Flower Man. Both of these players are, as you said, storied anime fighting game players, and they play at an incredibly high level. So if you didn't have enough excitement for the first 3 matches, we got even more coming at you for match number 4. Flower Man versus Jan, Milia Rage versus Potemkin.
I mean, I'm gonna be perfectly honest, when I saw the top 16 bracket and I looked at this, I was like, "Why are we playing grand finals? Like, this could be a grand finals match."
Right? It is one of those things where it's like, yo, these are filtered down to some of the finest that we got in the central region, and that's why I was so excited to have ARCREVO come back in this format, because it just really lets your region shine and show just how many strong players that you have.
I think it's fantastic. I love the format for ARCREVO this year, especially getting to highlight all the different regions and what we have to offer, especially here in the central region. Getting into this 4th match here. Let's go!
You see the spacing out. Flower Man, well aware, does not want to get into the threat range of the Purple People Eater, Potemkin.
Yeah, but she does try to get something set up with the disc. Doesn't get any hits from it. Huge counter hit for Potemkin. Mega Fist in the corner, sets the back crumple state. This is what Potemkin's great at.
Yeah, Jan's happy with this pacing, right? To be able to just scrap it out in neutral, win some really advantageous trades, and then eventually go in. Garuda had to guard it up. Another one. Flower Man losing life. The risk gauge mad high. Jan is trying to finish this round and does. Snatched up.
Oh, that's so rude to end it that way. That just sends a message. I mean, these guys, like I said, they've played each other before in multiple different games, but holy moly, that Jan is trying to send Flower Man a message. Huge counter hit in the air. Mega Fist back to the ground. Forces a burst out of Flower Man.
This is important for Jan. Get that burst out early so that when they get another big opportunity, they can get tons of damage down on Flower Man. Flower Man finally getting in, and Jan immediately kicking him out. Does not want to go into the guessing game that Milia gets on knockdown.
No, you absolutely don't. I mean, that's what Jan is trying to avoid. Does get a little hit here and there. They counter hit each other back across the screen. But I feel like right now, Jan has got a commanding space.
This is the key for Jan. Even when they are not necessarily going to win the air-to-air, they can trade out when they have the life lead and risk air-to-airs against Milia, because even if they trade, the damage goes in their favor. Right now, Flower Man finally getting a knockdown, laying the disc down, and getting the wall crack. Dash up, long hair, don't care. Flower Man, we going over there.
That was the best run I've heard all day. Thank you very much. All right, so this is looking very strong. Now, Jan still can do it. Like, with one punch, he could still take this. Really just trying to figure out where he can get, like, a Mega Fist or something else in there. But Flower Man trying their best to get in.
This is the key. How do I finish? The body splash, though, and the double dunk from Jan. Oh, my goodness. You were so close. I know that's got to be frustrating for Flower Man, because they were literally a tap away for going into Duel 3. But Jan, I mean, as you said, Jalen, plays big bodies, is the big body, right? Like, they know how these characters work, and to have the awareness and patience with negative health to be able to snipe out Amelia, that's incredible stuff.
Yeah, the thing with this game is that you are not dead until it says next round. So you cannot count anybody out, even though Jan had a literal sliver of health.
You certainly cannot. Big counter hit, though. Flower Man, this round going well into their favor. The JS blowing Jan up before the disc even gets there. And with the wall break, a ton of meter from Flower Man. It's time to start spending some money.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit harder for Jan to deal with, especially because Milia, like you said, has so much meter, has that positive tension gain. But I feel like, yeah, nice air grab. Jan just doesn't really feel like he's out of it yet.
Jan is playing like they have not lost any life whatsoever. RC, after the air-to-air goes into Flower Man's favor, going to be able to lay down the disc. Doesn't even need it. 5D charge through the wall. Flower Man.
Yeah, that was a nice round from Flower Man. Now the thing is that I want to just highlight real quick is how many more hits Flower Man has to get onto Jan and how many more extended combos they have to get than Jan does. And it's just the nature of the characters.
It's the nature of the beast when it comes to these characters. Do not blame them because they know what they're doing. Laying down the disc, name that tune. Jan getting opened up again. Lust Shaker as well. Flower Man seems to be warmed up now because Jan has been put in multiple defensive scenarios.
Yeah, multiple defensive. Look at this. This is... I mean, again, they don't seem like they're put out from it, but Flower Man does seem to have a lot more answers than they did in round one that was so dominant in Jan's favor.
Okay, incredible, nice fall in JH from Flower Man. And yeah, as you were saying, Flower Man recognizing what happened wrong with game one, so important because Flower Man was able to say, you know what, I cannot risk in the beginning of the round going for these scrappy trades, right? Like I have to either immediately get in and get the knockdown or wait for Jan to make the wrong move and capitalize, right? And that is so important because naturally, as you said, Potemkin just has more health than Millie.
Right, and I'm loving in chat where you can see the Northern Central region versus the Southern Central region, these Let's Go Jans versus Let's Go Flower Man. I love it. I love seeing it. I'm sure they do too when they have like 5 seconds between fights.
Yeah. When they can take a breath, I'm sure they enjoy the support. The dash in JS connected for Flower Man. Name that tune again. It was the wrong one. The LP. Let me see. Through the wall we go again. Flower Man working incredibly fast now.
Yeah, I like the speed that Flower Man is choosing to play at because it's a little bit more difficult for Pot to get anything going at that tempo. It's just his moves are big, his moves are slow. And they're devastating, but if you can't get one in, what are you going to do? YRC tries to establish a little bit more pressure with the slide head, but Flower Man is no feet on the ground, doesn't get hit by it, and is able to take that round.
The floor is certainly lava. I wonder if Jan is going to start using 5P and or Heat Knuckle to try to answer some of this air mobility from Lilia, but her extra air action makes that really difficult to do at times.
It does. It really does. So this round, just alright, waiting for the opportunity for Flower Man to get in, forces Jan to burst pretty early. Flower Man still has their burst, which is a great resource for them to hold on to.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you certainly want to keep that, especially as Millie, because you don't want to be in a situation where you're taking tons of damage. The disc gets the knockdown, the immediate dash in, the double overhead. Flower Man heat seeking at the moment, attempting to put 2 on the board on their side.
They're playing at such a pace it's almost difficult to watch because they're so fast and the moves are coming out so quickly. Nice overhead side switch, just trying to confuse Jan at this point. Ooh! Wait for a burst. Jan tried to punish, but Flower Man understood the mistake already and was ready to punish his own mistake.
My goodness, these early JSs are tearing Jan apart because it's hitting before the disc even really becomes active as a hitbox, and now Flower Man a tap away and seals it with another JS, taking themselves to 2-1 over Jan. What a turnaround.
Ooh, so here's the thing. Sometimes Jan gets put in these I'm about to lose positions and gets a massive power up. So there's a distinct possibility that we could see Jan come back really strong in this round, but at the rate that Flower Man is playing, I don't know if that's going to happen.
Listen, if Flower Man keeps accelerating, Jan is going to have to do a lot to catch up. Now, I've seen Jan do this time and time again. Definitely not out of this. Bless up with the 6P, and that's a way to get it started for sure.
Definitely. I mean, you're seeing now that was a 2-hit combo followed by another 2-hit combo, and poor Flower Man is about dead. Oh, they're all the way dead.
As you said, sometimes Jan gets put up against the wall and they get this power up that just seems to flip a switch, and now Flower Man's going to have to quickly try to stop this momentum that Jan is building.
Yeah, I mean, oh, that's a really good counter. That was something that we actually didn't really see in the past 2 games that Flower Man was winning, was that grab, which is really an essential tool for Potemkin to be able to stop air movement from his opponent.
Absolutely. And even if you guard Heat Knuckle, it drops you so far, like just straight down, like no horizontal movement. It's a really good tool, but you got to be careful because if you whiff it and get punished, it hurts a whole lot. Oh, the
Oh
protective
no.
buster, back breaker, round taker, Jan, 2-2 between these combatants, and I'm not surprised we're going to game 5.
I'm really not. Also, just as an aside, I really like that now in offline tournaments, if there's a Potemkin Buster, the whole audience does it with him. It makes me really happy.
It's incredible. The feeling is unlike anything else. Just like going to another game 5 here at ARCREVO America 2021 Central Qualifier. You really want to go out on the winner's side for this bracket because there are monsters afoot.
No, there are monsters in the lower bracket. You just don't want that right now. And neither Flower Man nor Jan want to fight any of them. They want to sit pretty until tomorrow's top 8. And right now, it's just going really back and forth, but Jan's showing a lot of control in this round.
This is what the pace that Jan wants. The jump over S for Flower Man does force the burst out from Jan, and now Flower Man trying to find the opportunity to trade again. Always going to go in Jan's favor.
Right, you're right. And now Amelia was in the danger state for a second, gets thrown. Oh, the little dust, just a little bit of dust to mix up the way that Jan was playing. What a nice adjustment.
Incredibly nice. So nice that Jan is looking at a match point. The Flower Man coming out the gate swinging. The back step on the throw. Here we go. Through the wall. Now Flower Man has positive bonuses. He's going to be able to use that meter aggressively.
Yeah, ooh, avoids the incoming from Jan, and Flower Man trying to set something up. They want to take this round, they really do. But Jan just wants to end it right here. Huge counter hit, gets caught.
He's looking for a burst. The jump over H from Flower Man, laying down the disc. Baddest of Moons connects in the quick RC for plenty of damage. Unscaled, long hair, don't care. Once more, we're going over there. Jan on last legs for this round. Will we get a duel 3?
Yes! I'm obviously really excited. I actually got chills when Flower Man got that combo. That was incredible. So here we are. Final game, final round of the finals, winners quarterfinals into top 8.
Goodness, Flower Man off to a slow start. The burst is blocked and punished. Oh no, Jan looking to close the door to Flower Man's winner side run. The purple RC, what is it gonna be? Garuda. Flower Man's gotta escape now. Danger, Will Robinson.
Oh my god, they don't have any tension to deal with. I mean, Jan has burst, that's all we've got. Flower Man has to do something incredible to get this going. Look how much health Jan has.
The slide head knockdown. Flower Man blocking it up, but for how long? Not a lot of life. Cannot make any mistakes.
No. Oh, that's a really good counter hit. Full combos. That's going to be all the way in the wall. They're not going to be able to super own this.
Oh, the throw after the disc was blocked up. Name that tune again. Will we get the rerun? HPB to just escape.
Oh my goodness. This is so intense. Huge counter hit, and Jan takes it.
Jan hanging on to the last guess from Flower Man and commandingly finishing out the round with plenty of patience. This could have been everything, but Jan with just the rocket packs on the back out of there immediately. Done guessing.
Oh man, looking back through these replays, look at the incredible game-winning hits that Jan got. Holy macaroni and cheese, that was incredible. What a set from Flower Man and Jan.
I mean, it's one of those sets that I always say, well, unfortunately someone had to win because I could have watched that for hours. It was such incredible play and adjustment back and forth from both of those players. Jan will be the one moving on and well earned, but Flower Man not done yet, going to be going to losers round. Wow, that's certainly one of the sets that you want to go back and just take another look at because there were so many small things there that even we couldn't keep up with all of them with how fast these two were adapting to one another.
No, it was incredible, and really at that moment they weren't playing the characters, they're playing each other because they know each other so well. They know their game's plans so well, and the way that the two of them force these incredible combos and adjustments and stylistic changes into something where we're seeing Guilty Gear Strive evolve on screen in real time is just, God, it's
It's
so great.
it's one of the things that I love about this game is that because it's so fast and so damaging, the decision making and adjustments you have to make is just, it's almost split second. And to see players able to do that just instantly, like back and forth, to, as you said, playing one another, it makes it a beautiful, beautiful thing. So again, that was just winners quarters. That was just winners side of top 16. We're going to be moving. We're going to be moving into the danger zone territory. We're going to go into the loser side, and this is it, right? Like these, you cannot lose these matches whatsoever, otherwise your bracket run is done. And oh my goodness, some of these names in this on this side of the bracket is just like, wow, really? They're down here? How did that happen?
Yeah, so some of those names, just in case you weren't here in the very beginning where we were highlighting some of those, we have Teddy Treebark and their incredible Milia. We've got Days, and we have the Elven Shadow, known for Faust, known for this little tiny tournament in Chicago called Frosty Faustings, that
Just a
Elven
little-
Shadow.
A little small one. You might have heard of it, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, these have been some names that I've been seeing in Guilty Gear in general for a while, but Days has been multiple top 8s in NLBC, grinding out the Giovanna. You've seen them all the time. Of course, Teddy Treebark with the incredible Milia. Elvin doesn't need any introductions whatsoever, playing on Faust. We also have, I gotta give him props, shout outs to LK's own Chris Chaos for making it into top 16, one of the OG gearheads too in the Chicago scene, and always willing to help people out in pretty darn good chip as well. So excited to see them go at it. But again, this is Jaden, this is want to go back to the couch territory. I'm sure they're already at home, so can't exactly say that, but this
Spectator
is it, right?
bracket.
Yeah. That, like, you got a first to 5 to make it, right? And that's what amps up the intensity for these matches, and that's what's got me excited, because you're going to play with everything you got, because you don't want to get kicked out of the bracket.
No, absolutely not. But before we move on to that, just real quick, wanted to highlight the winners from this upper part of the top 16, which was Squirrel with their Ram, Devil Chip with the Leo, which still mixes me up, but it's fine. FGC Flash, also known as Flash Metroid, with the Axel, and Jan with the Potemkin.
Yeah, those were incredibly well-earned sets and played sets from all 4 of those individuals. And again, those who didn't win on the winner's side still have that shot on losers. But first and foremost, you have to wait for round 1 to resolve, and that's again, I love the loser side, because it is one of those passionate places where it's like you get to see everything a person's got up until that point, and all the stops get broken out. So it's been exciting. If you've been having a good time watching some Guilty Gear Strive here at ARCREVO America 2021, make sure to tweet it out, let people know what's going on, let them know the Twitch channel and that you've been enjoying it as well. Thank you all for hanging out with us and just watching some fantastic gear. Big ups to Arxis as well for running ARCREVO once again for another year, and I cannot wait to see all of the rest of the qualifiers. But we're going to jump right back into it. It's going to be losers quarter, the first very match of top 16 on loser side. Days versus Dante. This is it.
Oh boy. So this is gonna be really incredible. So we've got, the Geo into the Kai. I'm a Kai player, so I'm always like, yay, Kai! And I get really excited when he's on screen. But this matchup, if Kai gets things going, starts using the shock state appropriately, it's going to be really easy for them to, you know, open up and get some damage like we're seeing now. But Gio, one of these really fast characters, can turn things around quickly.
Absolutely, the ground game is going to be so important for Gio, but the answer is, how do they get past some of those killer buttons from Kai? Far slash, 2S as well, just stun edge. Gio's approach is going to have to be really careful. Finally gets in with the far slash, does Daze, but Dante going with the Vapor Thrust, blocked up. Daze not phased whatsoever.
No, definitely not phased. And this is the thing, is that, you know, Gio, like I said, can turn it around just like that. And just like that, it was turned.
Tables were spinning just like Gio's legs right there on that super, and now Daze going to strike first blood. A big punish on the Vapor Thrust. Wonder if that was a missed input or read from Dante. Either way, they got a little bit of ground to cover.
Right, yeah, a little bit of ground. Trying to get Gio into that shock state is Dante, but a huge counter hit on the side of Daze. Big corner combo. I think the wall may have gotten reset there, and now a corner combo in return. Just throw him again.
Listen, the dash up throw is the Kai player special. It's almost a command grab with how much they use it. Speaking of using, Dave's gonna have to use everything they got to get out of this situation. The backstep 5H into the Travail continuation through into the other side of the screen. This is looking good for Daze, and the closeout with the dog Tatsu. Let them know.
Did you just say dog Tatsu? That makes me really happy.
Did.
I love it.
Duel 1.
Okay, so really strong performance there from Daze. Now Dante has to just maybe change the pace, come in, find something a little bit more useful. I would actually, and I may regret saying this, I would love to see a little bit more 6P out of Dante.
Well, and it's also about closing out the round, right? Because Dante has had the advantage several times and allowed Daze to enter into a scramble state where Daze, I mean, I'm just going to let you know from watching them play other anime fighters, is finding comfortable with scrambling. So that's something that Dante's going to have to do when they get the advantage. But so far, like last round, it's been all Daze. So Daze is certainly working on all cylinders. Dash up, close slash, knees to the chest. Let him know who's the best.
Okay, that was a nice comeback from Dante, and like you said, they really just need to close out the rounds. They've been in an advantageous situation before, but I feel like Daze has a lot of momentum on their side right now.
Yeah, step back far slash is going to be one of the tools that Dante is going to be able to use. Charge stun edge on the Oki, goes for the 2P check. 6H going to keep Daze locked in, but again, the escape plan for Daze, and now Dante has to chase all over.
Yeah, that was a nice JD into the falling heavy slash, but unfortunately didn't really get anything from it. And finally, we see Dante close out a round.
This is important for Dante to recognize the patterns and sequences that Daze likes to use in the scramble to be able to answer back. Plus frames on the Travail, backstep far slash again preemptively from Dante, expecting Daze to chase, but this time Daze holds the brakes.
Oh, tries to fish with the 2H from Dante, but doesn't really get anything. Unfortunately, gets punished for their efforts.
Oh, yo, the double boots to the chest, trying to put him to rest. Daze blasting Dante back with a perfect. Yo, 2-0.
Yeah, that was...
Mankind.
Oh, that was big!
Duel 1.
So now, 2-0. Dante has to make some massive adjustments, or like you said, spectator bracket. See ya!
Gonna get yeeted straight up on out of the bracket. The 2D ball, dogs barking at you. A punish on the throw attempt. Daze smells blood and is on the hunt.
Yeah, this is problematic. Yeah, I put in shock state, trying to just get something, an overhead, but it gets challenged all the way to the corner. Wall break, doesn't even need it because you're dead.
Duel 2.
Yeah, Dante is just going to have to amp it up a little bit. Does have burst, the 2S round start. Don't blame him, but the disjointed hitbox of 2D has caught Dante on a counter hit several times now, and Daze is on the move to try to close things out 3-0. Nice and easy.
Yeah, cool boy. So this just okay. Nice little challenge. Unfortunately, the follow-up whiffed from Kai. Big counter hit in the air. What side are you on, Gio? All the sides. Dragon install.
Man, I hope this got the drivers, and it doesn't. You're gonna have to take that right on back to the shop, and you'll have time to, because Daze is gonna close it out 3-0 against Dante. That was Well, I mean, it was a strong performance, and it's everything that Gio wants to do. He wants to keep you guessing, wants to keep that ground game nice and solid. Notice the amount of times that Days didn't even have to take to the skies unless they were contesting or trying to get a cheeky dash in. It was just mostly controlled ground game.
Yeah, that so Dragon Install did get some buffs in the most recent patch, but still doesn't really see a lot of gameplay, so questionable choice to use with meter. I mean, when you're close, it does have a little bit of blowback from it, so maybe Dante was hoping they'd get a little bit of blowback, get an advantage. It does charge up a lot of your specials, so you have some more damage coming through. But as I like to say, that was a choice. And unfortunately for the time, it wasn't the right one. So Dante is going to go home and Days is going to move on. And if you're keeping up with the bracket, which you can type !bracket into chat, that means that Days is going to go fight Flower Band.
Oh my goodness. Gio versus Milia. Listen,
Thanks, I hate it.
Yet. We're not there yet, but that one's going to get your blood pressure moving. And if it doesn't, you need to go call the doctor immediately, because that is a high-paced match for sure. And speaking of doctors, our next match, Faust from Lord Elvin Shadow themselves, going to be coming up to deck. A character who has gotten some help in the last couple of patches. Certainly more used than they were. And Elvin Shadow is starting to slowly but surely, really make some waves here in Strive. No surprise whatsoever. If you've ever seen a Faust player and you've seen Elvin Shadow, you know they're one and the same. So I'm excited to see this one. This is going to be really good. Not quite sure who I Am Rock plays, to be honest. But if they made it here to top 16, it was for a reason.
Oh, absolutely. And just, Elvin Shadow coming off of their win from the Plus R side tournament at CEO. And we just got word from our fabulous streamer that their opponent plays Leo. So this is actually, this is our second character repeat. The first one being a Nago repeat that we saw in the winner's half, but now this is our second Leo that we've seen. The thing is, when you're fighting into a player like Elvin Shadow, who's been playing this game for longer than some of our competitors have been alive, actually, 90% sure, you have to come in knowing that Elvin Shadow understands this game on a fundamental level, and that you are probably not going to bring something to him that he's not seen before. However, like you said, Faust, up until in this patch, did get a little bit of help, had some much needed changes that assist his gameplay and make it a lot easier for Faust players to get their momentum going, to have, whenever they're throwing things out, yes, it's an RNG character, but there's a little bit of help to play around there.
Absolutely, and I think that those were fantastic changes to the character. However, Leo oftentimes gets to be in situations where they just don't care. Yeah, you got buffed and that's great, but I'm just gonna do what I need to do. So we're gonna find out which one of these combatants will be moving on loser side. It is Elvin Shadow versus I Am Rock. Faust versus Leo Whitefang.
Oh boy, so nice things for Faust is that he's got a lot of ranged moves that can keep Leo away, but like you said, sometimes Leo is long hair, don't care, and is just gonna come in on you, kind of like that.
Yeah, king for a reason. The slash through, counter hit, blocked up the burst. I Am Rock out here certainly trying to make sure we smell what's cooking, because it's them.
It is. I don't think Elvin Shadow's gotten a chance to play. No, he did not. That's a perfect.
That is certainly what the screen said for sure. I Am Rock out the gates, the 2D, blowing back the knees. Elvin Shadow on the defensive, finally getting some movement going here and able to play the game. Mix coming out, blocked up from I Am Rock.
Yeah, so Elvin Shadow trying to counter with some of those JDs. Does get a nice counter hit here, forces a burst out of I Am Rock, floats on the screen, nice JD again, throws him with a scalpel, keep him in the corner, and trumpets are out, but it was for Leo, but luckily Elvin Shadow missed all of it.
Just gotta make sure you do not go outside during recess, don't want to deal with them kids. The overhead block are destroyed by the flash kick. Now Iron Rock has a chance to play some offense.
Yeah, so let's see. Oh, bomb bag, really nice throw there. Just trying to throw as many items as possible to keep I Am Rock on their toes, but Leo does not care, and there we go, does take that. Even though that was a really strong round from Faust, sometimes you just get hit.
You know, it's really difficult to deter a player as determined as I Am Rock from just holding forward and going in, right? And when they have that mindset, if you don't have the answers immediately, you can just get destroyed time and time again. Another burst blocked as well. I Am Rock playing on a super high level right at the beginning of this set.
Yeah, incredible gameplay. Does a great job. Oh, does miss the first low, gets the second. Wall break. Faust living on a thread. But that doesn't mean that he's out of it yet. Ooh, dashes back, doesn't get hit by that projectile. Gets meteors as part of that super.
And honestly, that super... Oh, unfortunately.
Got hit with your own bomb!
It be your own sometime. Elven Shadow looking at a potential 0-2 scenario. Iron Rock immediately with their aggression, but the defensive throw from Elven Shadow gonna give him some corner pressure as well.
Yeah, so now in the corner, Leo has some nice ranged moves of his own. Gets hits with the mix. Throwing out the bomb bag, gets hit with the 2D. Good reversal though on the side of Iron Rock.
Into a back turn, YRC, my turn please. The command grab, soul throw coming out for Iron Rock. The JD set it on fire as well. Elven Shadow trying to answer back, keep this game alive.
Right, oh, sends out Little Faust, who's still on the screen. I believe he did hit Leo. It was just slightly too high to see, but gets him again. Bananas are out, gotta be careful. Counter hit, and now it hurts a whole bunch.
Positive bonus as well for Iron Rock. RC from Elven Shadow, YRC right back. Elven Shadow does have burst, but wasn't able to use it. I Am Rock going to be going up 2-0.
Oh my goodness, this is... Look, I know Guilty Gear is a fast game,
One.
but this is real fast.
Yeah, I Am Rock has somewhere to be. Wants to get through loser side as fast as possible. Elven Shadow not out of it yet. Making some of the adaptations here. Big jump in though for I Am Rock, and now Elven Shadow back in trouble time.
Yeah, shoot. This is a big hill for Elven Shadow to climb. Huge counter hit coming out of I Am Rock. Forces the burst out of Elven Shadow. Throw is on the table. Briefly gets chomped. Grab and lands right on the throw. That was actually really cool.
Super duper cool. Throw is on fire. The RC. Iron Rock gets opened up. Another throw comes out. The flash kick back into the hairdo. No. The burst from I Am Rock. Elven Shadow still with a life lead, trying to space things out.
Oh, Trumpet gets picked up by Leo. Did avoid it. Meteors came out briefly, which is one of the more devastating items from Faust. Just little exchanges. Trumpet's back out again. Huge counter hit. Okay, so
give it
yeah.
the item, take it away.
Yeah, so what happened there is during that counter, the trumpet actually landed onto Faust, and then as they were landing, Iron Rock didn't have time to block, so they got hit by all the little minions.
That's tough, but not for Elven Shadow in this round. I Am Rock feeling a certain kind of way about that last round and letting them know with the perfect.
Yeah, he was offended morally that had happened, but Elven Shadow is just trying to let him know that, look, homie, I've been playing this game for a hot minute. I'm here to fight.
For sure, great defensive throw again from Elven Shadow. Catching Iron Rock on the dash through. Has meter as well. It's coming down. The pressure blocked up, the flash kick, and no meter to cancel, but not that much of a punish. However, Elven Shadow gonna go ahead and cancel into the super and let it rain. Elven Shadow once again closing out a clutch situation, and we're going to 1-2.
Mankind.
Oh,
Duel 1.
that was intense.
Let's
That was a lot, and the RNG was ever in Elven Shadow's favor on that last one. Holy moly! Did you see how many items that dude just threw out?
My man's went to Costco and got the deluxe box of everything.
Yeah, this. Oh boy. So I Am Rock still doesn't seem very deterred even after that loss. I mean, they still are on. You know, this is their game. Huge counter hit, big super. Yeah, that's. I was like, you don't even have to submit this to "Is this gonna kill?" because it is.
No, that won't be on the clip reel for sure. You don't have to worry about that one. I Am Rock on match point. Elven Shadow once again fighting for their bracket life out here.
Yeah, doing a really great job with the items, working around what they're getting on screen. In particular, as you pointed out in the last round, doing a great job with these, like, just defensive grabs. Nice lows to keep Leo on their toes.
I Am Rock trying to get Elven Shadow out the sky. This is the momentum that Elven Shadow wants to play. Get the life lead, and then just face things out at that 3/4 range and potentially in the skies as well. JD gonna light him up. Throwing out the murder man, the mini-me.
Oh, 2 bombs on screen, too. Did a lot of chip damage. Elven Shadow puts another round on the board. This would be go to game 5 for Elven Shadow, but it would be the win for I Am Rock, so I know that they both want this real bad.
Absolutely. You see I Am Rock starting out aggressively early because this is the way that Leo wants to play. Start the round out strong, get a huge life lead, and continue to press the opponent into the corner. Dash through RC at the wall. Oh, a much needed burst from Elven Shadow.
Yeah, and a really nice JD to sort of counter that. Forces a burst on the other side as well. RC, carry. Oh boy.
Elven didn't quite get the item out of his hand, and it's I Am Rock closing the door. Elven Shadow so close to taking it to game 5, but I Am Rock just a little bit faster to the punch and playing incredibly well with the Leo aggression.
That was an incredible last round. I mean, I really felt like both players did a great job countering what the other one had and adjusting on the fly. For a loser's side match, it certainly did not have loser's side energy. They were clawing and just going at it with all they had, and really, really well done to I Am Rock being able to move on in the loser's side bracket. And just as an update for you, that means they're going to go fight Velvet's Nago in the next round.
Oh, that is actually I think that is a pretty decent matchup for Nago actually against the Leo. So curious to see how that one's going to play out, and excited to see more loser side top 16. But before we get into that, I want to thank some of the people and sponsors that allow such wonderful things like ARCREVO to happen. And first and foremost, let them know, Jalen.
Yeah, so this is the Guilty Gear Strive Season Pass 1 roadmap. We do know the next character. It is Baiken. So excited for Baiken coming in.
I don't want to hear any of that hate.
No, I'm excited. I messed around with Baiken a lot in Rev, and Rev 2. So excited to see back here. And so we're gonna get that, and then we will have an additional character and another battle stage coming up soon. So if you haven't gotten your season pass, go ahead and get it. You're gonna want to play it. It's great.
And speaking of great, we have a wonderful holiday sale going on for Guilty Gear Strive, up to 35% off. And of course, Guilty Gear Strive being the Game Awards winner of 2021 for Fighting Game of the Year. So congratulations to Arc System World for that. And congratulations to all of you for pushing Strive to the top of the top. And if you haven't got in on the action, now is the perfect time to do so. Up to 35% off on Strive for the holiday seasons. Go ahead and indulge and enjoy yourself with a fantastic game.
Right, and speaking of the Game Awards, once again, Guilty Gear Strive did win Best Fighting Game this year, so thank you to all of you for making Guilty Gear Strive what it is. what it's evolved into both offline and online, have great rollback netcode, makes it easy for us to run these tournaments, and just allows us all the opportunities to play each other near and far. So thank you guys for continuing to support Guilty Gear Strive, especially through this tournament, ARCREVO, and beyond.
And speaking of beyond, we got more qualifiers past the central one. Make sure to sign up at arcsystemworks.com/ARCREVO-America-2021. You can still register for all the other qualifiers that are open for ARCREVO America. So if you liked what you saw here, if you thought, hey, I could do that, go ahead and sign up, try your luck, and test your strength against the best of the best.
We also want to shout out Hitbox, which was designed by fighting game players for fighting game players. And it's great for players looking for more precision and better hand health. I'm not gonna lie, I actually requested to do this particular shout out because I just switched to Hitbox this week and I've noticed a huge difference in my own gameplay. I love how it feels like all of my buttons are so intentional and like the decision-making process is so clear for me. And I am, approaching the FGC retirement home, so it's done a lot for my hands as well. I can play for hours and not have any hand pain, so I think it's great. It's a sleek design, it's native to the PS4, PS3, Switch, and PC, and it's compatible with PS4 games on the PlayStation 5. It has that jump button at the bottom, so it's like a space bar. It feels really good, feels really natural. It's really not that hard to get into. And there's top players like Renauld and Cloud805 who play GG Strive and DBFZ, who use this. So, go hit them up, hitboxarcade.com/ARCREVO. Give them some love because honestly, it's a great controller. Like I said, I just switched to it this week and I'm really, really happy with the decision.
Welcome to the Hitbox family, Jalen. And if you are in the Chicagoland area and you want a place that feels like home, Low Kick runs weekly events all the time, online, offline, in multiple locations. We do it in a COVID safe way as well if you want to come to the offline events. But if you want to just hang out at home, check out LKO as well and get some games in. Open usually to the entire North American region when we run Guilty Gear Strive. So come on in and have some fun with us.
Great. Well, I think, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere because we are going to send it to a brief break. And when we come back, we will continue with more of our top 16 losers side bracket. There are murderers afoot. You don't want to miss it.
Yeah, we're going to do a short commentator swap and then we'll be straight to it. So small break and then we're going to get back at it. Thank you all for watching. Get some refreshments. Stay tuned and we'll be right back.
お頼み申すお頼み申す卒じながら冥府はいずこ外道が笑えば民が泣く諸行に拉致なき沙汰あれば魔道の始末を請負いいたす己は美老の三品侍指導死に花無用の所存
お前を前にすると立ち止まったはずの俺が追いついてくるみたいでな。だが大丈夫だディライラ。大丈夫。
There's no way you'll believe me when I say this, but I'm really hoping you guys win. Because I'd like to see you again.
It took me 10 years to find the answer to something. I forgot about it in 2 seconds. That's about it.
I don't care about winning. I'm just here for the pleasure, not the fights. But you see, this world is a broad, colorful carpet. But if you pull a single thread from beneath your feet and start to unravel it, you realize in the end that the carpet's just made of one lump. spreads is necessity. Everything is here. One may witness an unfathomable sight and call it a miracle, but that's a misnomer. It's all cause and effect, and you should never mistake necessity for fate. Humans have the freedom of choice. Come play with me again.
Can't you see I'm blazing? Still my heart is blazing. If the words kill me, I don't need a new world after you. My time is my word. Your words will never let me disobey.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. The continuation of ARCREVO Online America. I am one of your commentators, Zero, continuing the action alongside Dostro. Dostro, how you doing?
I'm doing so gosh darn good, man. We've been watching some really, really fantastic matches all evening, just starting off with a huge momentum swing with this top 16, going into a lot of really fantastic matches that we have yet to see. There's going to be so much going all weekend.
Yes, this entire weekend is going to be a real treat here of all the skills that have been brought in front of our own eyes for the central region here in America. Getting to see that mix, a lot of Midwest players out here. So congrats to you guys out here. Of course, we got a little bit of Midwest bias. I see the shirt over there, Dostro. What are you doing?
We're playing for the Midwest. We're playing for the Midwest. We're here.
We're playing Midwest, South Central. You gotta step it up. Honestly, look at this. We got the representation. All right. Anyways, before we get too far ahead of ourselves here, no bias.
Zero
no
bias.
Zero. Literally, it says it on the glasses. Zero bias here. Anyways, we have our first match coming up to continue into this bracket here. We do have Nyx. Nyx going out there up against, you know who, that DJ Melody.
Yeah, it's going to be a really tricky matchup from what I hear. Nyx plays Ram and DJ Malady on the Axel. Two characters that have a lot of really great ranged options. So It's going to be a lot of interplay between how they want to go in and out of each other's optimal ranges. And Axel has some really great options to keep Ram from at a really far distance, but Ram's huge buttons can really just stuff the sickle chains from Axel as he's trying to keep the space control going.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting matchup. Like you said, Axel does have that range advantage, right? But, Ram just needs one hit to really close that gap. That counter hit is going to be devastating against Axel, and it's going to be a struggle for Axel to push right back out of that corner here. So I'm really curious to see how that's going to lead up here. Malady does have a tall order against Ram. Ram has been that regular trouble character throughout this entire year, since the launch of Guilty Gear Strive, really. So we do see players really on the come up, especially with Axel, because Axel's been on this new wave, right? Starting in Europe and then heading into, America, Salt Mine playing their Guilty Gear brackets out there. A lot of fantastic, Axel players out there that, getting to see that come right over to the States is fantastic. It's that trade of information here. And here we go. We got our Crescent DJ Malady up against Nyx with Ramlethal. So let's go.
Yeah, we were able to see both of these characters earlier in the top 16, but we haven't yet seen them face up against each other. And both times, it was really, really strong and oppressive play from both Ram and Axel. And it's going to be interesting to see how these different players approach the characters and approach the matchup.
Yep, absolutely. Of course, the full-time stop, everybody. Take a moment to hydrate here. The hype does continue.
Oh, full denim?
Set.
Full denim?
Okay. The Canadian suit is out here today.
All right, we let the entire shows rock. We're true anime FGC players. We feel it. Take that deep breath. We want to see all of this beautiful visuals, these fantastic animations, and we're getting right into this powerful match here. DJ Malady versus Nyx. Let's go.
This intro is going to be really scary here for the opening gambit. Good job for DJ Malady. Going for the backdash here out of the sky to another strong. Nyx already taking charge.
Yeah, but that's clean 5-key poke out, but we're still back in the corner. Dash the throw. We got these heavy corner pressure going. These swords going to be tossed. The pressure. Oh, she ran right under that 5-key there.
Yeah, sometimes, some characters can get right under active 5-key, and that's unfortunate. You have to work your way up that, It's not just a guaranteed hit. You got to spend things on great charge does. And this will kill here if you got the combos and get don't. Come on, Nyx.
Oh, commentator's curse. We're back to the neutral. This is the distance. Just keep her out, Rainbow. Okay, got the 5K connection. Pushing it right to the corner. Just calm down. Get the neutral going. 2P, Rensen. Oh, shit. Okay. Nyx just ran up with that 5K.
Ramlethal players have the courage, the guts to be able to run up and have that opportunity here. Great sword. Keep your distance over here, but unfortunately out of the sword. So has to be confident on making this growth for a little bit here.
Malady just reset the neutral, had a nice time babysitting the swords. Oh, the heavy sword is way back there. Oh, we got the Daro combo. Oh, we didn't have it.
Here. Yep, that's a guaranteed shatter right there. Had DJ not put a burst out there, and unfortunately Nyx with an excellent air-to-air, gonna get a nice little pick up that extra sword. Probably should have spent for an overdrive, if I'm being quite honest here, because that would have got your hard knockdown in there.
Oh, 5P trades with the AH. We're getting with the YRC back. Rainwater. Oh, the JK contested something. I couldn't tell what was going on. It looked like perhaps DJ Malady was jumping up to do something, maybe air throw, but Nyx just right in that JK to bring him back down to the ground and take that first match.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. That purple RC kind of throws some things off there, especially if you're on the defending end, and then immediately that purple RC right back at you from Nyx on the offensive end, kind of throwing things a little bit off there for DJ Malady. Let's see, we're taking a moment.
Just a breather.
Yeah, just a breather, because honestly, Malady, like we said at the top of this, is going to have a lot of work to do because of the damage that Ramlethal can put out against Axel. You can open up Nyx as many times as you want to, but if they're not significant strikes, if they are not going to be optimized to a grip of damage, or you're not controlling the neutral, it's going to be a tough battle here. And Nyx is kind of playing it a little bit easy, right? Throwing out a lot of swords, which can be scary, especially in the Axel matchup, because Axel can make you wait for it for quite some time. So hopefully we get that adjustment here. Let's see how this works out for Malady, because Malady's not too far off by any means. We got the hits, we got the movement going, a lot of smart decisions. We just got to put it all together and complete the package to get the W.
Yeah, that match was 2-0, but it was close though. It was close though. DJ Malady had a lot of really great ideas and was ready to contest Nyx as they had that mid-range pressure start ideas. Nyx would throw out a big button and throw a sword, and DJ Malady was ready to just send Nyx back to neutral and just slow down the pressure and slow the pacing of the match a little bit, because once Ram is in your face and in the corner, you're in for a bad time. We saw plenty of that in both this match and the set that we saw earlier from SQ versus Trevward.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, great example right there too, right? You know, an expert of her craft, SQ, with Ramlethal, and of course everybody in this top 16 expert in their own right. Ramlethal is definitely that character you do want to get that space, and in the Nagoriyuki matchup, you have those tools. As Axel here, you have the same similar tools to keep that distance. Of course, the damage, that's the big difference. The damage. It's not a full stop sign for Ramlethal because, well, like we saw earlier, Ramlethal can just dash right under the 5P. So there's little worry there unless we throw out a Rensen or Rainwater after the fact as well, right? So you're really trying to control that ground. But once you get to that mid-range between the two characters, that's when it becomes absolutely terrifying, because Ramlethal doesn't take that risk with her slash or heavy slash, whereas Axel can take trades on those buttons coming out. So you have to be really careful how you're placing things. So here we go, back at it again. Axel coming out top against Ramlethal once again.
It took a bit of an extended break here. DJ Malady maybe just recollecting, thinking about trying to take some time to think about what's going on. How can we reset and contest these options? Already starting off with a strong start with that 2S counter hit. Oh, yes!
See, this is the space that I was talking about, right? Control the pace. You can't let Nyx have those opportunities to exit. Great red RC to try to get the side swap.
The momentum on those fast RC cans is always so tricky, but Nyx had the fantastic block. But we're now set back to neutral. Oh, counter hit JS, full charge dust.
Yep, but we saw earlier, Nyx did not have the combo burst this time though, so Malady gonna keep out alive and takes that first round there, a completely different round start.
Oh yeah, that was all DJ Malady the entire time. Counter hit far slash on round start. Oh, Winter Mantis clothesline. Oh, we put those out to dry.
Swords off in the backfield here. Nice anti-air. Don't let Nyx get the sword back for free.
Nyx is getting so antsy with those sword tosses out of neutral. DJ Malady just wants to keep them away. Oh, 6H overhead to take it.
Look, how many times are you going to throw this ball over into my yard? I'm sick and tired of it. I'm not going to come outside every single time you decide to kick the ball too far over into my yard. It's my ball now at that point. That is what Malady is saying in this set. No more. You're not going to get this for free. You have to suffer the consequences for your mistakes.
That was a complete turnaround from the last game. Nyx was there was some back and forth. Nyx had a lot of really fantastic corner pressure, but in this match here, that DJ Malady took this quick 2-0 in rounds. It was just placing those sickle buttons, the perfect space at the perfect time, right place every time, and really sort of getting in Nyx's head, figuring out how they want to approach, how they want to get in, and just figuring out that Nyx just always, no matter what, wants to be right in front of DJ Malady's face.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Malady did a tremendous job at playing that true zoner that Axel can really be, right? Creating a lot of problems in the neutral is so key to Axel's game plan against a character like Ramlethal. I keep telling you, like, especially at the round start there, it was immediate counter hit. You lost the sword. Great. This is perfect for me. I'm going to make sure it lasts as long as I possibly can. It was really preemptive in a lot of the movements that Nyx wanted to do in that set. So great stuff there from DJ Malady for that second game. We're going to get back into it in just a moment, but you know, these sets so far have been phenomenal. I mean, just the immediate adjustment from DJ Malady has been tremendous in this set, and it's going to pay off in dividends. Let's see if now Nyx can make that adjustment as well, because we saw those air-to-airs really get those counter hits off against DJ, and you know, we did see a lot of great challenges in neutral, but like you keep saying, getting rid of sword in neutral just all willy-nilly like that is definitely going to end up costing you in the long run here.
Yeah, and we're in dire straits. This is loser's side of bracket. Anyone who loses the set here is relegated to the spectators bracket. They're stuck on their couch, only wondering what could have been.
Duel 1.
Back into it. Let's see the round start.
Here we go.
Oh, these rainwaters just setting back to the spacing that Axel really likes. Oh, preempts air dash.
Yeah, perfect anti-air here from DJ Malady, and now gonna try to force the movement here from Nyx, which is so important, right? You're throwing the low sickles here, try to force a jump out, and you go for your immediate anti-air. So you have options to kind of force mistakes from Nyx. Nice purple RC, tried to get an overhead, too far away though.
Full screen, and Ram has gone one swords. He hit the Winter Mantis off screen.
That's terrible. That's always the worst. You see it happening, you hear it happening, and you still don't have the reaction. It's like, ah!
It's just back of the bus. I'm in danger. Oh, yes! Oh, do it. Oh, back. Good.
Great back.
It's getting right through that full screen command throw.
Ooh, and see right there. You know, you're putting yourself at risk. I was telling you at the top of the set. Axel has those long-reaching normals that can get punished 6P right there, whereas Ramlethal safer. This guaranteed shatter. Unable to burst.
Looked like just a 5P break, but still a hefty amount of damage, about 33%, 35%, something like that. Oh, tries to bait with a pseudo bomber.
Not a terrible idea right there. Oh, come on and slam. Oh, and doesn't get caught because of the IAD after purple RC. But
and Rainbow catching the approach.
Wow. Look, you know, DJ Malady, something happened, right? Somebody pulled Malady to the side and said, listen here, this is how you handle Ramlethal. I'm gonna give you a few tips, took the notes, hit the dust loop, try to check things out like, all right, this is how Ram works. I'm not gonna get washed up like this.
Malady's got their corner man. Between rounds, just patting them on the back, wiping the sweat off their forehead, give him a quick blast of water.
Just give it to you. You got it, Mac.
You got it, massage it. This is what you got to do. You got to duck low. You got to catch the punches while they're coming.
Just listen here, kid. Just listen. Just got to keep going. And you know what? It is paying off. That adjustment was wonderful for DJ Malady. And again, you know, caught between a rock and a hard place here from Nyx. Nyx has to try to make something happen. You see these challenges happening here. But again, the exact same problem that Malady had at the top, right, of just not being able to capitalize on those counter hits, on the challenges in neutral. So now the damage is a little bit differentiated here. Hopefully Nyx has something. Come on, Nyx. We've been getting full sets the entire bracket. Nyx, don't break this pattern.
Right back. Just patient round start, Nyx. maybe just getting a little bit more patient, slowing down a little bit more. That's what you got to do in the zoner matchups.
Yeah, definitely. You know, the patience will kill you for sure, right? Because you're used to rushing down as Ramlethal, right? Or just at least being in your opponent's face. And when you're told that, hey, you're not allowed to play your game plan 100%. You got to be patient. That's so frustrating.
Mom said it's my turn with the Xbox.
Ramlethal wants burgers now, and she doesn't understand no.
6H.
Movement here, but you caught yourself into the corner. Great challenge!
Oh, the rainbow catches the flip in from Ram there.
Hey. Mash. Oh, start. Yeah, I don't blame you for bursting because you would have died.
It's a mess.
Yes.
Slow pacing neutral, 5P anti-air into the Rensen. Oh, Fake's getting out of the corner, but pushes them right in. DJ Malady's got their back up against the wall.
Oh, nice push once again. Great throw. Keep it the same side this time. Smart decision. Caught low again. Has enough meter for the overdrive.
More Dobato, but not Muerte yet.
Air to air does work out here for Malady. Malady looking to be in trouble. Burst still available for Nyx.
Winter Mantis, no meter for the RC or the One Vision. There it is!
Okay. Expecting the burst there, though. Unfortunate. Oh, God does catch!
My God.
Unbelievable.
The one time you pull it right out of your back pocket, that one vision.
I mean, we're
You
going
got
to see here
one chance,
again, right?
one opportunity.
To seize everything you ever wanted, and you're going to get scooped by the command grab here. And there it is. The one vision. You know what? We drop it, go for the distance, try to see if the burst happens. Doesn't? No sweat. I'm in the sky. Stop time. You forgot the block. Hold this. There ain't no burst opportunity for you. It's checkmate.
Yeah, just sending it out. Even just installing the one vision is such a powerful presence on the screen because it's always going to be something you're thinking about if you're facing against it because they have the one vision. They're glowing. They have the aura. When's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? It could happen to anyone. It could happen to me.
Happen to you. You're waiting for the opponent to pull the trigger. At that point, right, it is Axel's turn until, you know, Axel decides to let go of one vision. You're waiting for the block, which loses you opportunity on offense to get a better positioning right there. So you, as Ramlethal, you want to go in and close that gap. Don't let Axel hit you from afar and, you know, chip away at you. But at what risk, you know, when are you going to let it rip? That's the terrifying factor. A great set between these two.
A lot of the time it can feel like death by 1,000 needles, but when they get those hits, that number goes down. It starts at 1,000. It's 900 now, 750. One by one, you're getting poked to death with this long-range sickle chains from Axel.
Yes, the man that can travel through time, the man that has seen the future and sees exactly what's going to happen in this next bracket. But we haven't seen it yet. Even my glasses can't tell you what's going to happen next for the next set. But we do know who's coming up, and that is Chris Chaos up against Teddy Treebark. And let me tell you, first off, Chris Chaos, a man that needs no introduction, has been around in the community for quite some time, especially in the Chicago scene as well. Always helping to run events and really push the envelope that is Guilty Gear. Expecting Chip, right? We're definitely going to get that Chip play. But Teddy Treebark, always a great underdog story to see because that kid has been putting in work in every game that he's played. And now playing with Millia here, feeling a little bit down earlier in the bracket, right? Because he took that one loss and man, I don't know, I'm not feeling it. But then something clicked, made it into this top 16, and boom, the explosion happened. I got this. I'm Teddy Treebark. I play Millia. I'm gonna mix.
And when you're feeling yourself, when you think and when you feel, when you know that you are the best player in the world, you just gotta run with it. You gotta take the momentum. You gotta let yourself get a little greedy sometimes. You gotta let yourself feel like you're the best.
If you want to talk about someone's very own like best cheerleader, is definitely Teddy Treebark. When Teddy feels himself, Teddy really feels himself again. Teddy knows when he's nice and definitely will not let you forget it. And that's what's so fun about watching Teddy. Watching Chris, though, you know, having the seasoned Guilty Gear strats, right? Always been there with Chip. Of course, Revelator was playing Answer as well. So, you know, a little bit of ninja mix-up, right? The secretary to Chip. So we're still continuing that legacy storyline. We got to see where it ends for Chip at this point. And honestly, I'm looking forward to see how well Chris Chaos can hold out against this mix from Teddy Treebark's Milia.
Yeah, it's with the Chip versus Milia matchup, it's going to be a lot of really fast, really precise, really clean movement. Figuring out the sort of micro spacing where you can contest, where you can place your options, and where you can sort of overload your opponent with the mix-ups, with the pressure. It's really going to be fascinating to see how these players both approach it and how they respond to each other.
Yeah, you definitely have, you know, like at the top of it, it's the old blood versus the new blood, right? The old guard, and now you got the, you know, the newfangled millennial guard, right? You millennials out here are playing like crazy. Your online ability is absolutely insane. Here we go. I can't wait for this opening game here. Who's got it? It's just stare down. Nice backdash though from Teddy, trying to wait it out, see, because we know Chip can absolutely explode. The lowest health characters for both of these players here, so we'll see how that goes.
And these characters are definitely no strangers to the Twitter clicks, but definitely for the wrong reason.
Ooh, bro.
Meaty just dashing up with the S-disc. Resho gets wire seed. Oh, AS counter hit, but no confirm. They're just running in. Preemptive. JK gets right to the corner. Cross up. Alpha Blade.
Yo, the gold burst does end up whipping here. Gets the pick. What an insane pickup right there. And no meter to do it. Still getting the shatter. That's insane. All right, Chris Chaos has one more hit here. Does get the connect with the red RC and finishes up that first round with a grip of resources going into the second round.
The first time Chris Chaos got the Resho sequence going, they went for the overhead. They got the wall break, and the second time the low took the round. Very fantastic decision making. Chris Chaos is just keeping Teddy out of the air.
Oh my god, the close slash does connect off of Teddy's command dash right there. That was insane. Red RC to keep that pressure.
Oh, grab out of Alpha Blade.
Yeah, great throw here from Teddy. All right, but Teddy has to make something happen. Great air to air. Should be getting the shatter and does.
Those air buttons by Milia or Page are some of the best to do it.
Missed the bad move, but that's okay. It gives us a moment here to take a break. Good air-to-air burst is available for Chris. It does get spent.
Oh, we want to end this as quick as possible. You do not have the time to learn against speed, sir.
Yeah, and you know what? That's the confidence there from Chris's neutral game. I've opened you up enough. I guarantee I'm going to get this W. The throw doesn't kill quite yet, but
6K!
There it is. The patented 6K from Chip. You see it coming a mile away, and yet you still don't stand up.
It's the last thing you think about when you're playing Chip. There's so much about the left and right with the Alpha Blades. There's the staggers with the Resho, and occasionally the overhead versus the low, but those are a lot slower than the 6K. But when you bring it out, the 6K is definitely worth something.
Absolutely. Okay, well, Teddy, though, making a substantial lead, forcing an early burst here from Chris, so a very different start. All right, knocked down with this disc.
Dash up 6D.
Great YRC run-up throw here. Going to take this opportunity to make you hold on to this.
Oh, that was dirty, but the rising JK to clip Chris out of the air, taking the round. Teddy Treebark has definitely not given up just yet.
Quite.
Oh, surprise.
Oh, big shatter right through. And what a grip of damage, too. Holy cow.
Send it.
Yeah, of course. Why not? Right.
Poking. Air pokes.
Oh, big.
Bet it all on the farm there.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? You're at such a life lead. Why not? Yeah, full meter. Take the chance. You still have positive bonus at the time.
Yeah, and Milia's not doing all that much damage unless you have the corner combo. But the up Alpha Blade getting that cross up, Teddy Treebark now tied 1-1 in rounds here.
Yes. Okay, nice trade here. Close slash does connect for Teddy.
Dash up throw. That Guilty Gear backdash helping out, giving them the space to really get this pressure started.
Ooh, and Teddy's risk gauge is cranked up, but the defense is phenomenal. Nice rose to get to the opposite side. And interrupts, though, from Chris. It's that neutral gate. Chris is so confident in the neutral right now.
Oh, they weren't ready for the Mirage.
Whoa, okay. burst?
This is how it starts. We got to use the burst. We're trying to stay alive. Once we're knocked down, that's when it gets so much more difficult for these characters.
Takes KRC and shattered, so not able to burst. One more touch will do it. It could be a throw. It could just be a counter hit.
Backdash. 2H catches the approach that PRC was not quick enough, and Chris Chaos gets that second round, moving up to set point. Teddy Treebark up against the ropes here.
You know what? Take the moment. Take a second to get adjusted, Teddy. Drink some water here, because you know what? All that work you did to make it through those rounds here, it was your set. You were in control, but then things got a little unwary, because Chris, phenomenal in the neutral. You know what? Chris doesn't have to take to the skies. Chris has the ground game here, and that's what's winning the set so far.
And Chris is doing such a great job of putting those buttons out, even when they're more than half the screen away from each other, because Teddy has been doing a lot of just run-up into Chris's space. But he's...
Yeah.
We're getting in here. That air dash in. Wall stick. JD to break it.
Yeah, so holding on to that meter will get the positive here. Has opportunity to drift, but the 6P, again, the ground game. You gotta watch out. Stick to the skies for too long, get you killed. Nice YRC trying to steal back the advantage in the corner.
Block the 6K, Lust Shaker, got the pressure started, but 5H counter hit. We still have a burst on Chris's side, but we're playing it safe. We're saving it for the next round.
Interesting, especially, you know what, that first game where Chris was not going to hold on to that burst. Small stuff here to start, gets the low.
Air throw, trying to give them a hug, but the JK contest didn't connect to the combo with the JH.
Okay, good block in the air. Jump K interrupt. Nice chase out to the opposite side of the screen. We're going to the West Coast. No one read the rules. It's supposed to be a Central-only tournament. We're driving all the way to the West. Give it with the overdrive to go even further. We're going to Hawaii, baby.
Down on the ground, gets the air dash in. Teddy Treebark still having the burst, but saving it yet again. Chris Chaos, Teddy Treebark, both on burst. Final round of the game. Potentially final round of the set.
Yeah, you know what? Great idea for both players to hold on to the burst for that last round there, especially Teddy too. Now that it's gone down to the last
we got
round.
gold.
Ooh, plenty of resources, but Chris doesn't care. The double DP. Are you serious?
We got a marathon. 6H gonna send them to the corner with the Mirage cancel the hair card. Counter hit on the whip throw. This is how it starts. Get the mix going. Fast RC. We're gonna get the wall break here. And the kill.
That is a set right there. Look, Chris comes from a different era where, you know what, Chris has seen it all. You're not going to confuse this individual. Big counter hit DP, YRC. Guess what? I'm just going to block. Nice block on the low. Gets the knockdown, and still Chris has plenty of health to try to turn things around here. And over carried to the corner as well. Like, oh.
Jumped out of the throw there, and that was really a pivotal moment in this final round, allowing Chris to get the pressure, the fast RC up the 6K to confirm, the wall break to kill.
Yeah.
Chris Chaos is just moving at lightning speed.
Oh yeah, seriously, like, I don't know what happened to Chris today. Chris just did not care. Like, and that's the general consensus of Chris's attitude playing Guilty Gear. Like, Chris has had that constant idea of, like, you know what? I've seen a lot. I'm just not going to care. You have to prove me wrong. You have to earn the respect. And that's a great way to play when you're playing Chip, because you know what? Great risk brings great reward, says Chip.
And Chip's always living on the edge. You look at him funny. You give him the side eye. You call him a name at the wrong time, and he's just crumbles into dust. You're always living on the edge when you're playing as Chips enough.
Yes, you definitely have to. And you know what? It was a great set between the two players. Gosh, I feel for Teddy Treebark in that set, because the work that Teddy was putting in to keep that mix potential going. It was just unfortunate that Chris did not have that moment of pause. There wasn't a moment where Chris really was like, you know what, I need to back off. Like, I don't know what to do. Chris was just kind of calm, cool, and collected throughout the whole set. And I think that probably threw off a little bit of Teddy's game plan, right? Because Teddy thrives in the idea that their opponent doesn't have a turn anymore. And when you come up across against a Chip player with a DP and has the audacity, the gall, the gumption to DP twice in a row, Chris, relax. You made it to this next section of the top 16. You still got one more to go for this top 8, though. Just like the rest of this bracket, that we have here. Coming up next, we will have Flower Man and Daze going at it.
We got to see Flower Man earlier against Jan, another Milia player, and it's our last Milia player in bracket, it seems. Flower Man is just so good at moving in and out and really taking the time to play that air game and the ground game, as Milia as a character who has such great air options and mobility tools.
Yeah.
But Daze in the Giovanna pick is going to be really a bit frightening for a Milia player, because surprisingly, Gio just sometimes spits out damage. It almost looks like an accident.
You know, as a Geo player myself, getting to watch Daze is such a treat. Honestly, like, the aggression from Daze is definitely a game plan that you have to be prepared for against Geo, and that's a terrifying game plan against Milia. So Milia is definitely going to thrive for that initial knockdown, because as we know, the true reversal is not there. We can at least play our Oki, throw out disc, and make sure that Geo does not get a turn on wake up. And you also have to be wary too, because there's so much misleading information that Giovanna will put out there. You're thinking one thing like, oh, well, this is unsafe. Surely it's not my turn. Or it is my turn, rather, and I can try to interrupt or maybe put in a throw. And that's when Giovanna's like, just DP here, whatever, no big deal. Put in the 2D and then off into, drill kick, where we see a lot of players afraid to challenge. Let's see if Flower Man takes some notes, has been watching a lot of this bracket here, really been practicing out, wants to make it to this top 8. And let me tell you, Flower is hungry for it. Daze also hungry, and looking to close out real quick.
And Flowerman actually a former ARCREVO champion themselves, but in DB tag last year. But we'll see how, definitely no one to sleep on in terms of tournament caliber players. But right now, Daze running for the throw loops. What game are we playing? I thought we were playing Guilty Gear.
You know what? Again, Giovanna likes to run up in your face, tick throw, set up here. You got to be ready. The speed at which she dashes, you have to be wary too, because of the dash changes as well in the last patch. Whoa! And there's that frame trap I was talking about.
That was
not
so fast.
your turn. Yep.
25 seconds?
Oh yeah. You got to be careful, because those kicks hurt. Nice 5P, gonna get a full conversion knockdown.
Oh, these staggers. The Geo staggers are so scary. Well, 5P anti-air gets the same conversion with the 5K into the Tatsu.
Yep.
Good pick
Bro,
up.
gotta guess again. You didn't have meter. Nice, fast RC, and that wraps it up.
What the heck was that? I have literally never seen that. That was so tricky.
Y'all forget, Giovanna has that true mix. Thank you, Universal Mechanics out there. You just snap a finger when you have 50 tension, throw out that Roman cancel, you gotta guess. You got a 33% chance of being right. And I tell you what, if it's coming at you at the speed of light, I don't care if you're playing at 1/60th a second, it's not gonna be fast enough.
Yeah, that was unreactable. That's pick a direction and pray. That's high or low, maybe OS throw, and just hope that you chose correctly.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
All right, here we go. Gonna
Playing
try to
that
control the
spacing
space. Yep. Controlling space with 2D is so strong too, especially since it's misleading on the spacing in which Giovanna actually hits. You gotta know your homework in that matchup. You see that in a lot of mirrors where Geos are definitely aware, and it's gonna be a hair's breadth that it connects. Nice 2D counter, no conversion though.
Oh, BRC to really just get out of the options. Daze has been doing a good job of anti-airing, but sometimes you just guess wrong. That mix takes you right to the corner. H-Dix. Okay, low with the 2S. Pokes out, gets the cross up on the flip kick. We're back in the corner. Blocks the YRC. Oh, she's dead. There's no way you're living through this.
It was death. It was immediate counter hit into overdrive. Giovanna taking the big damage, tries to close it out as fast as we can. Daze gonna do the sprint, not the marathon.
Daze gets that counter hit far slash, moving right in. That dash is so quick. These staggers, Marvin doesn't know how to deal with this.
This is the hardest part, right? Close slash. Safe. We are safe. Every knee hits you, and then you have to worry about the delay. Is it going to be an immediate connection into far slash, or are we delaying to press in far slash? And that's the guessing game you play. This is why Giovanna is so terrifying. We've seen this character jump up on the tier list here.
Oh yeah, and Giovanna really just honing in and specializing in the stagger string mix-ups. A really
Yes.
strong strike throw character, and just
Yes.
always being able to get into your face so fast with that dash, and having her really strong buttons, strong, fast, and really calculated buttons, really makes her such a powerful and terrifying character.
Yes, absolutely. Tries to go for the trip guard with the 2D here. And again, now we're going for the aerial space. It's about that first knockdown for Millia. We got the corner control. All right, you have a soft knockdown. So see how you're going to have to close this gap because
Counter hit. Oh,
right there.
oh. Yo, is this the beta? Is this the beta?
Hey, relax. That's hey, don't bring attention to my girl Gio, okay? We'll relax.
Great Gold Burst Days just living on the edge here. Send it. Signing and sending it.
Nice
roundhouse.
4K. Yep. And that's a little bit of a guessing game too, right? You could do your RC to try to take the turn back, or just deep pierce right there if you're feeling cheeky. Well, here we go.
Days
Match
knew they
point
were
for
minus
Days.
and just contested the approach from Flowerman. That 5K after the roundhouse kick there, just putting the stops.
It's the mind games, and you know what, Flowerman really trying to put this puzzle together. Got the disc, nice cross up here. We do have another setup, and again, same side. Great stuff here for Flower, mixing it up. This is where we turn it up to 11. Flower, you got this. Good patience here, but we're plus off a drill. You can't challenge here. The shimmy.
We had the counter hit, but we didn't have the confirm. Flowerman still with burst, maybe holding on to it as late as possible. Gets the empty low off the disc pressure, but bursting out. Empty low again?
Wow.
Flowerman,
I didn't even know where to block. That was insane.
Flowerman is just picking so many of the right options so often with those mix-ups, but it's just a matter of getting started with them.
Exactly. Millia really has to get started and can't let Giovanna run this race at all, because look at this. You tried to backdash yourself into a corner and Gio just chased you down. The pressure's insane. That
done.
light dust right there into the shatter wraps up the game here. 3-0 for Days against Flowerman, and I gotta tell you, I'm scared to be in this corner game here. Look at that 2-4K already. The biggest of shimmies. Catching a knee right here took the wind right out of your sails. And what do you do at this point?
We did not want to eat that damage, but she's just right back in. She caught Days with Giovanna. Giovanna catches the air buttons and just sends you back to the corner and plays this quick game. And I swear it's a placebo. I swear it's a placebo, but Giovanna's dust just feels faster than everyone else's.
Oh yeah, you definitely got the placebo. I mean, that's the thing, is that was an option that was not presented the entire set. There was not one dust in the whole set that was given by Days, and that was the one shot right there. We've seen throws. We know to expect throws. So we took that chance on doing a dust right there. I mean, we had the life lead. We have a substantial score lead, so why not? And that's what caught it. You know, the short overhead, we didn't need all that much. We already had the wall shatter building up. And that's what took it right there. It was that quick consecutive strikes that ended up cracking through Flower's defense in that corner. And, you know, like we said at the top of that round too, Flower really tried to backdash away, like wanted to get that space and just was not allowed to. That's how quick Gio can move in that matchup. It's terrifying.
Yeah, I swear every time I play against a strong Giovanna player, they go up to do some sort of meaty option. I somehow manage to backdash it, but they're still fast enough to punish me.
Yeah, and you got to worry about that far slash, right? It's your fault you ran into it button. You know, that character has so many great options in neutral, and using universal mechanics also extends that further. The power of that character is definitely like, it's such a high skill ceiling. Like on the introductory level of Giovanna, just like the character select shows, it is really simple to just start playing Giovanna. Press buttons, you feel cool, but then go beyond it, right? Then you start implementing your drifts, you start implementing your fast RCs. And that character, when you really start to understand how that frame data works, is a monster. Absolute monster. Millia can be too. It's just Millia couldn't get set up, and it was key to knock down that Giovanna, get your game started, and put fear into Gio. But Days, that's a tough player to put fear into. And as we can see, Days will be moving on tomorrow for that top 8. And I can't wait to see more Geo, just like I can't wait to see Velvet and I Am Rock come back up here.
Yeah, we saw Velvet earlier on the Nagoriyuki versus Flash Metroid, and it really just, Flash was putting on a clinic and just showing how to keep Nagoriyuki at bay. Just put up the stop sign. Just stay away from me. It's a pandemic still. I need you to stay 6 feet away at all times.
See, that's why we're not side by side for real. It's still a pandemic, and I don't want to get close slashed at all by anybody, all right? I've seen the counter hit damage. I don't need that in my life.
Nagoriyuki at least still practicing good pandemic hygiene by wearing the mask.
Right.
But sometimes it falls off. Sometimes
right.
Sometimes
and
it falls.
You're going up against Leo Whitefang. Wants to give hugs all the time. And Leo, we're great pals. I've appreciated watching you play since Revelator, but relax, okay? You got to have some sort of facial covering here before you get to do it. Match it up with Nagoriyuki here, unless you get in the Blood Rage Nagoriyuki. So here we go.
Duel 1.
Starting out with it. This, from all of the Leo players and the Nago players that I've talked to, they seem to think that this is a pretty fair matchup between the characters, but it's so momentum dependent. It feels whenever I watch it, because Nagoriyuki always has some really strong pressure and really strong neutral control, but as we're seeing right now, I Am Rock is in your face with this Leo pressure, and it's hard to deal with.
Yeah, how do you come into a Guilty Gear game with a name like I Am Rock and not come out swinging? I mean, look at this.
Oh, always throwing.
Always swinging. And look, the mix, cross-up, counter hit does connect. Wraps it up swiftly with a nice easy slash right there. And you know what? You're right. I Am Rock is definitely not giving Nagoriyuki the chance. We want to see this level 2 blood here. We're trying to get started. Great throw from Velvet.
Good punish on the landing frames from that jump spin. Oh, we let it rip. Send the spin.
Right,
Just
nice
back
back
to neutral.
Yeah, you know what? I like this neutral game here a lot more from Velvet. Really trying to force the situation from I Am Rock. Chipping away slowly with great buttons. Very wary of the spacing. Nice. Steal the turn back, of course.
Moving on to level 3 blood here. This is where the neutral feels so strong from Nagoriyuki. He's just sending out these huge sword normals, but it still limits the amount of damage he can do once he gets the connection. And I Am Rock.
Life lead. Wow. I Am Rock is definitely having trouble here. Getting in the danger. Has to try to make a move, but it's a wall of slashes here from Velvet. A great situation for
good old Rock.
Oh. Go the low! Oh no, wasn't able to get the conversion. Doesn't need it though. So this is a bad space here. Needs to be on the opposite side. The wall is going to get shattered. That's a grip of damage. Won't kill though.
Big boy with heavy guts rating.
Oh yes.
2S clipping them. Velvet not ready for the low.
The low American reset, no less. Like, that was a couple hits. The toes were open.
It's America Central. We're in a ARCREVO Mid America Central United States qualifier here. Oh, up on ground start. Fantastic option.
Back dash.
Trying to keep the spacing in, but I Am Rock just forcing their way in. Do it again. Do it again. Oh,
please
I wanted it.
Throw out. No. Velvet, don't let this malarkey go on. You need to catch this. Do the homework, folks. And look at this. The powerful aura that is from Nagoriyuki. You're caught in a corner situation, and Nagoriyuki's just waiting for you to decide to make a bad move.
It's just standing.
It's very menacing. Very menacing, but what's even more menacing, Leo, turbulence, back turn, gonna get a nice hefty grip of damage. Hold this heavy fight. Excuse me.
Oh, we pressing buttons. Just get caught by the pipe. Oh.
I need to call the Arxis police on that one right there. Velvet out here pressing buttons when they shouldn't be, please.
Velvet block, come on, man. Oh, the overhead. We stacking higher and higher. It's hard to deal with all of these options.
Big counter hit, close slash, not able to get that conversion. And you know what? I do appreciate, like, especially in that last round, unfortunately you're gonna get scooped. I Am Rock recognizes that Velvet is not ready for these cross-ups. So, keep abusing it. Nice! Alright,
just
we'll
keep
go.
SH, SH, super. We got the break, the hard knockdown. We have 50% tension, but we cross it up. It's hard to do these reversals when you can't do it the right direction.
Oh, this is looking rough. This is looking rough.
I Am Rock is looking like a boulder sliding down a mountain right now.
Yeah, remember, it's in the name. I am Rock. Solid and well-defined. I will shatter expectations.
We have a brief connection discrepancy, but it's going to be ample time to let Velvet just take a breather and really just you gotta
You gotta assess the situation, right? A giant rock came spinning through your city, and you only had yourself to try to stop it. You tried to be like, you know what, I got the meter, I have buttons, what am I gonna do here? And unfortunately, it was unable to be stopped here by Velvet, you know, and it looks like I Am Rock is gonna have another shot at it for this third game. So while we do have a moment here, definitely go tweet out the fact that ARCREVO America is going on right now. This is the central region right now. And, you know, these qualifiers have been outstanding. We're trying to get down to it, whittle down to who's left in this top 8. Of course, we do have this match going on right now. Velvet in a whole bit of trouble against I Am Rock right now. And of course, in the lineup, we do have Flare G and DJ Malady on the way as well. And then after that, we will have Trevward and Chris Chaos coming back. And I tell you what, if Trevward wins, Chris is going to ban you. So Trevward, good luck. No, I'm joking. But these two are definitely going to be a real treat to watch in this set for sure.
Yeah, all of these players have just shown us that they're so incredibly strong. Literally any of these matches could be a top 8 match, winners finals, grand finals, and it just feels so fantastic to see how good everyone is getting so quickly. This game has been out for almost actually just over half a year. It came out first week of June. It's just after the first week of December now. It's been over half a year just by a few days, and everyone is looking so incredible. They know their routes, they know their damage, they know their setups. They're approaching neutral with intentionality. And that's something that I feel really expresses how well you know a game. If you know how to navigate through the neutral game, it's just such an absolute treat to watch.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, I do want to point out too that like there are some big names in these pools that didn't end up making. Like, what's crazy, because I had thought we'd see Joe Biden in this top 60. Joe Biden dropped down. You know what I heard though? It was a quick call back to the Pentagon real quick and had to figure some stuff out. You know, some people, you know, started acting a little crazy out here against the country. So, you know, appreciate you, Joe Biden, taking a moment out of your time and busy schedule. But it does look like I Am Rock went 3-0 up against Velvet there. So unfortunately, we were unable to get that final set shown here live. But you know what? Hey, we're going to keep it rocking here, right? We have plenty of great matches to look forward to in this set. Like I said, we still have up next Flare G and DJ Malady. Flare G out here out of nowhere. Oh my goodness. This pool run for Flare G was absolutely outstanding to watch, that's for sure.
Yeah, we got to see the DJ Malady recomposing themselves after just getting beat up by Ram for one round, and the Axel was looking mighty fine on DJ Malady's side. Mighty fine. It's always a pleasure to see some good zoning play, as I myself am a zoning fan. Casual zoning fan Dostro. For those of you who don't know me, I like to throw a few projectiles in my time.
Spinch, just a couple of projectiles out there, keeping them on lock. Yeah, okay. So you're a Kai player. Knew it. Knew you're a Kai player. You like to be real honest. I appreciate that.
I did play Kai for a little bit. I myself have been primarily dabbling in Eno. I have picked up a Pocket Zato, but ever since Happy Chaos dropped, ever since we got the Fallen Angel, the Broken Messiah, I've been rocking that firing range all week, man. It's been such a blast to play him.
Yeah, you know, Happy Chaos, a phenomenal new character to Guilty Gear Strive, and also just like the creativity around this character is so fun because you do have that blend, right? Of like you have that Johnny blend, also with the Zato blend as well. You know, like when I'm talking coin, and then also you think about Eddie Meter, kind of mixed together in Happy, and Happy just adds like that additional factor where there's so much creativity in how that character can work, right? You got your one frame shots, and then you can keep yourself safe with that. The character is an intelligent character. I am trying to keep up with this character because the execution in that is so, like, you have to be on point, ready to cover your opponent in a lot of great ways, in a lot of kooky ways in some cases too. If you're willing to adapt with this character and really kind of play around with the field, like if you're comfortable with your create a combo soul and, you know, a well dignified and refined character out there, then of course you might not find any trouble with that Happy Chaos play. And unfortunately, no Happy Chaos this weekend here at ARCREVO, but there have been other, you know, spaces you could check out that Happy Chaos play. So definitely check it out. Plus, Guilty Gear Strive's on sale right now, so you may as well try it out.
Yeah, you can pick it up for cheaper than it was earlier. It's on sale for a few more days, I believe, and
yes,
it's it's a really great game. We've been seeing these fantastic matches. It's an absolute treat to watch. It is eye candy on the screen. I'm just eating it up. I am so happy to be just look and stare at some Guilty Gear Strive.
Yes. If you have been keeping up with the ArcSys Twitter, you know that you ArcSys fans out there have been eating real good this year. Real good this year. I mean, come on. Fighting game of the year for a reason, right? Fighting game of the year.
Yeah, it's so great to watch what the players come up with, how they approach the new tools that were given, and just to the cherry on top, that is the gorgeous game that it is. It's just so fantastic, and it's just a testament to the caliber of creative souls and developers over at Arc System Works, and all of the time and love that they've put into the game. And not only that, they're listening.
Yeah,
they're listening to how we feel about the game. They're addressing it with changes, updates. In the the October update, it felt like a completely different game. It was just opened up, and it was so much fun. It was like a new age of discovery when we got all those extra tools.
And of course, too, I do want to give a big appreciation to Arc System Works for donating to the Child's Play charity. It's their charity of choice for ARCREVO this year as well. So for entrants, based on the number of entrants that are in these tournaments, they're going to be donating up to $30,000 to the Child's Play charity. So the more entries, the more donations that will be provided to that charity. So put it out there, tweet it out. We still have a ton of events coming up here. December 18th is going to be Mexico, and of course the East Coast for the US will be January 15th, so you get a little bit of a holiday break there. So plenty of opportunities to keep watching and continue to enter. If you missed out, you Central folks, you could have helped out a good cause. Come on, for the kids, the next generation of Guilty Gear.
Yeah, and there's no shortage of fantastic Guilty Gear action nowadays. There's tournaments going on every day. We just fresh off the heels of CEO with K7's phenomenal showing, K7 pop off.
Yes.
Going up. We're back into it. We have our next matchup coming in. Flare G on the Chips Enough versus DJ Malady, Crescent's Own, on the Axel Low.
Oh, DJ Malady trying to make it to this top 8, but you got to go up against Flare. And this is going to be a toughie here because Flare, I mean, we did see the set from Flare G and Devil Chip going up 3-0 in that set. But you also have to think about, too, that Flare took down Days earlier. So, I mean, that says a whole lot right there about the caliber of player that we're about to see here once again returning to the fight. But now you got to go up against the zoning from Axel.
This used to be a bit of a trickier matchup for Axel because Chip could just run all over, and his extra jumps really allow him to get around and move through the spaces that Axel just has a lot of trouble defending without a huge commitment.
Exactly.
Oh, just
Ooh.
we'll run up 2KD. Okay, it's in stereo.
Nice jump in. Yep, the perfect reaction to the spin cycle from Axel.
Oh, mix.
So close. So close to getting that pickup in the shatter. Yep.
Oh, do it again. Cross up, cross up. Okay, hit with the low. This is okay. Flare G. These chip players are built different. They are running all over the screen. How are you doing this?
Hey, you know, chances make champions out here, and I think that is the, the motto for every single chip player out there. If you're not taking the risks, there's no rewards to be had. And here we go, Flare G with a deep cross-up. Oh my goodness, nice block on the burst.
That was a safe setup? Oh my god.
Dead. Oh no, not quite. We didn't have the meter wrap it up here. We still have one more opening. We'll do it. And it's
Oh, drop kick.
6K. You know, perfect too.
Oh, get the P. Those golden letters, not golden, not golden here, but Flare. Flare showing us, living up to his name, got a little bit of style going on.
Yo,
this chip play is fast.
Team Flare is out here to show the world what true beauty looks like, and it's becoming a ninja.
Duel 1.
Hey man, Mr. President Chips Enough is looking extra swagged out today, it seems.
Yeah, so a couple chips in the bracket so far. Oh my goodness, I wasn't ready for it. Yo, the low jump E. Oh.
Catches the backdash. You can't do that against the Hidden Leaf Village.
Nice.
Oh, mix.
Wow.
We are not sticking to the wall today. We are going back and forth, left and right. Catch these mixes. Oh, lightning!
Fantastic momentum there from the PRC, able to get the dirty high if I ever saw one there. Flare G playing on a different level. Who cares if we don't get the shatter? If we open up DJ Malady left and right here, oh my goodness.
Flare, calm down, please, please, calm down. Have some tea or something.
Nah. I'm hoping for the violence, the real violence here from Flare, able to get that mix.
Oh my
Excuse me, we're doing parkour moves over here off the wall. Get a shatter, let him know.
Hey, Leffen said Chip was not a very good character lately, but Flare is showing us something else. Oh my god.
Guilty Gear is the field of character special. What? Hello?
What? How did that happen?
I need to sit down. Wait a minute.
This game needs a higher frame rate because he did not exist between point A and B.
Okay, nice. Off the wall. We'll wrap it up here. 2-0. Flare G trying to go for the speed run record here.
This is like a minute a game here, or less. This is... Yo, it's gonna be 5 minutes or less, or else your pizza's free. Flare G is running up to your front door.
Here we go. Last chance here for DJ Malady. Has to get the burst. And you know what's really tough here is Malady is trying to just weather the storm, and it's not happening here. Okay, 2K, 2D. Tries to get the Rencent out there.
Single faultless defense actually just pushing back to neutral, and DJ Malady getting some space, but we're right back in Flare. Are we taking the mix up or the wall break? Mix?
Go for mix.
Meaty
Watch
overhead. Oh my god. I have never seen anything like this. Flare is just opening up Pandora's box here.
Goodness gracious. All right, so last chance. DJ Malady is in a whole heap of trouble. The overhead does connect. Great pick up to the corner.
Oh, gold burst. That's going to be good for DJ here.
Yeah, but I mean, at what cost? It's a hope and a prayer at this point. You have the meter. Do you get the chance to use it? Back
They also
great
punish on the
recognition.
whip gold dust.
Person pick up. We'll definitely go for a mix after this.
Same
Jesus,
side low.
I'm not blocking. I'm not blocking that.
Oh, slump.
Hello?
Oh, we out. Are we going to run up the wall? Oh, that just punishes. Do it again. Okay, Flare. Locking it in with some speedy play right into loser's side of top 8. DJ Malady just had no time to adapt and catch up.
You see this? Look at this. The double Rekka red RC pickup. And you know what? Let's bring it down for another mix opportunity. Off the wall park, or once again,
Slump.
the true ninja tech.
Oh, just the auto timing.
That's crazy. That is crazy. I've never seen anything like it.
Flare's definitely spent some time in training, just figuring out and getting used to all of these fantastic mix-ups, but as one of my dear friends once said, math is for blockers. And if you're creating the mix-up, if you're the one presenting the mix-up, you're just opening up the platter, say, okay, which side? Which side?
Just pick one. We got the right Twix, the left Twix. Which one are you gonna take?
It's Monty Hall presenting the doors. Where's our mix-up coming from? Door 1? Door 2?
But you do have to take into account, though, right? Like, Devil Chip beat Flare G 3-0. So this is the caliber of top 8 that we're looking at right now. Because, again, Daze also made it into top 8 as well. But Daze went down in a 3-2 set against Flare G. So Flare G has another shot. Is still a threat to this bracket here. Of course, just like everyone else still in this top 8, they are all a heavy threat. But we've seen some pretty strong players out here, especially on the chip front. And, you know, chip is cool and all. Flare G's chip is phenomenal. Chris G, show him what that old school chip can do. Not Chris G, sorry, Chris Chaos. I got my Chris's mixed. There's so many Chris's out here. But Chris Chaos, let's see what that old school chip has against the new school Nagoriyuki. You know, I'm getting flashbacks again. That Flare G and Devil Chip set, right?
Yeah, we're moving into our final set here, our final match here of top 16 before we send it over to the folks tomorrow. It's going to be Trevward versus Chris Chaos. And these two definitely have played many times. I remember at the beginning, it feels like they were up against each other like every week, whether it was like Low Kick Online or some stray bracket in the middle of nowhere. But Trev has been really, really grinding this game.
Oh my goodness, yes.
He's been playing everywhere. He's been in NLBC's top 8 at NLBC, seemingly consistency. Like, I swear, every time I see Trev enter an NLBC, he's making top 8. And it's phenomenal to see how he approaches and dissects a game. I know Trevward from a bunch of different games. He was in my old local scene, actually. I met him back when offline was still a thing, and seeing him just figuring out a game is truly fascinating, just seeing how his brain works and how the gears turn.
Yeah, Trevor definitely a very intelligent player when it comes to Guilty Gear and other fighting games as well. Trevor definitely puts in that homework and really levels up, really takes to heart that old school guard, the previous guard, and honestly learning from the past is such a strong tool for Trevor to really grow in the fighting games that he does play here. And this Guilty Gear play has been a true testament of that this is one of the few times where we'll see Trevor come over to Guilty Gear, and just the growth in general has been extraordinary. And sticking with the Nagoriyuki the entire time, it's always been great to see how much Trevor has learned here. And of course, let's see, put it all to the test. 6P interrupt.
Yeah, this matchup used to be very tricky for Nagoriyuki, but through all of the adjustments and just allowing Nagoriyuki to stay almost unchanged for a lot of the time, it's allowed Nagoriyuki to really step it up against here. And once you get in versus chips enough, boy, you gotta work.
Yes, you look at the damage already mounting here, and here we go. Trevor, air-to-air interrupt. Good luck bursting, gets swept up.
That 2D caught something. I feel like that hit from a mile away.
Right?
Oh, round start counter hit. This gotta hurt. Burst out. We don't want none of that. It's hard for Nagoriyuki.
There's that burst right there, right back at you. Run up P will interrupt whatever Nagoriyuki tried to start it with. We got a level 2, but no meter. And Trevor is trying to weather the storm here. Gonna get shattered right through.
Got the wall break. Back to a round start situation. Good block on the cross-up. We've cornered ourselves here. Getting some blood back. Oh, he just waited.
Tried to go for blood-sucking universe, but what a jump from Chris.
Careful, Trev. Oh, the backdash gets caught by the 2KD.
All right. Going the distance here. Round 3. The backdash. Nice interrupt on the throw. A little bit too far for Chris.
Karate chop, and then the counter hit 2D will get the pressure started. The ball rolling, the 2KD reversal. Trev has gotten the offense started now, but right as I say it.
Right, nice. Throw Shuriken out there. Don't forget about it. Hold this corner position right now. Backdash. Yeah, has to block that heavy side. She knew it was coming. That would have been a hefty counter hit.
Yeah, that 2H is so strong and so scary.
Okay, good challenge here. Big jump in. Gonna get interrupted. Chris is gonna get the pickup.
Oh,
the burst.
The
Last
patience from Trevor on that burst, just waiting for Chris to make a move first. We're gonna throw. Oh, that's enough to do it. Chris Chaos, the lightning speed we saw earlier versus Teddy Treebark is just still there. The essence of lightning runs through his veins. Oh,
great backdash. Oh,
we went up and then down. Okay.
Great last minute block here available for Trevor here. Go for the chop in the corner is where we're looking for.
We're just trying to keep them on the ground, but that 6H didn't catch the jump out.
It's so hard, right, against Chip with, you know, the additional jump there. Oh my goodness, wait a minute. I spoke too soon. The heavy chop caught the counter.
Yeah, that's some old school patience coming from Chris Chaos there. A lot of players, new and old, will get caught by that big counter hit and just panic burst. And Chris was just ready to save it for this round. It's already worked, but we cornered him already.
Oh, okay, we're going for overdrive here. Gonna get the shatter hard knockdown. I mean, where's close?
Is it?
No.
Oh my god!
That's it. That's it. I'm sorry. Don't send this to Sage Info. Like, I would appreciate it, y'all.
We got 3 weeks to forget about it, man. 3 weeks to forget about it.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
just lock it in a safe somewhere. But we're 1-to-1 here.
Yes.
Getting some good guilty gear. Resho. No contest and challenge.
Oh!
The burst catches it. I think it looked like Trev was trying to food go behind the Shadow Clone.
Yeah, I think there was going to be that 2S out there. Okay. Nice.
Nick.
Here comes the Dolby surround sound action coming through. Big shatter. Let's jump in here. It still has to hold this pressure. Red RC. Yeah, you know. Oh my god!
Trevor's been so measured with how he uses his YRC, but Chris just got around that really greedy blood-sucking universe from Trevor there. Oh, karate chop, catch him out of the air, fly swat.
Yeah, that 6D is definitely brutal. Unfortunate for Chris Chaos, not a full extension. Let it rip, Beyblade coming out. Slash series gets in the corner.
Oh, I think he was expecting the close slash there, but wasn't ready for the far slash counter hit.
Got a nice jump in there. Close slash did get stuffed right there from Trevor and not able to get that pickup. That's unfortunate, but Chris taking a moment, gets the scoop. 6K opens.
We have burst back and 50-10% tension. We don't want to get the wall broken. Just trying to get out. Gotta be patient. There's a lot of hits that Chip can get on you, but they don't always kill, but blood-sucking universe, fast RC.
Yeah, that's great stuff there from Trevor. They're taking a chance in the blood-sucking universe, getting the cancel and for sure the kill. Now we got that corner. It's a perfect position, but we gotta chase Chip down. Like, Chip is such an escape artist in this match.
Yeah, the super jumps and the extra jumps that Chip gets make it really tough for Nagoriyuki to really contest, because Nago can keep control of the air, but not at the angles that Chip exists.
Yeah, and unfortunate for Chris here. Wasted gold burst, no meter after that, and this is a bad spot to be. YRC does make it out. Oh
Good
no,
challenge.
that's it. It's over.
Oh, casually have 100% tension. Just casually.
It was hard-earned.
Harder.
Hard-earned.
Just pose at the top of the screen looking mighty pretty. It's eye candy. Eye candy. We got the pink Nagoriyuki. It's cotton candy.
Yeah, I was gonna go to bubblegum. You know,
Bubblegum?
Cotton
It's just
candy.
so much
Like,
candy going on. The bright
there's
pink.
a lot of sugar on the screen. That's what it is. We're trying to make it through this night, and it's been a fantastic night so far. Will Trevor close it out early, or is Chris gonna keep it open for another round?
Should we go
no.
back to bait? He's ready for it. He gets so much blood back. No pop yet. Where's it going? Oh.
Got back already.
Right
Goes
there.
for the overdrive. And it was. Good lord. No way. Please, no way.
Chris, calm down. Calm down, please. Please.
This is insane. What an overdrive. What a start to this match point for Trevor here to make it into the ARCREVO top 8 for Central here. 2H.
Head is even on the ground. Be careful, man.
One more shot. Gets the dust. That does it there. 3-1. Trevor makes it into the top 8 for ARCREVO Central 2021.
And what a fantastic bracket we had.
Oh, yes.
Oh my god. So many really great games, so many great players, such strong play, and I am so excited to see what's going on tomorrow.
Yes,
I'm so excited.
Tomorrow is going to be so much fun. Gosh, this round, just watching the new guard versus the old guard go at it and wrap it up with that dust even. Like, Nagoriyuki, such a strong character, and both players really strong there. And you know what? When you're going up against the behemoth that is Nagoriyuki in terms of damage, getting caught as Chip is a heartbreaker. You hear the glass shatter on every strike. I know that's not the actual sound, but that's what I hear on my end, honestly. It is glass shattering. But great set, though. Great set from both players. I'm really happy for Trevor here. Well-deserved here. And, happy for how far Chris Chaos came along in this bracket. 9th place for ARCREVO Central is no joke, especially when you're looking at the run that Chris Chaos went through as well, too. Tremendous stuff.
Yeah, tons of great matches that we got to see, and so much more in the future. And it's just so great to see how this game is evolving. And
Yes.
it's not done yet. It's
No.
not done yet. We are actively in the life cycle of Guilty Gear Strive. We just got Happy Chaos about a week and a half ago. We have Baiken on the horizons coming in a little over a month, coming in late January, I presume. But it's a good time to play Guilty Gear.
It is a perfect time to play Guilty Gear. Don't sweat it. This isn't it. Tomorrow we'll be back. Same time as well, too. It'll be that 5 Central time to start out that top 8 run here. Of course, we're going to get that swap out of talent, get the players calm, cool, collected, because you know what? You earned it. That was a lot of work today. Everybody that started through from pools onto this top 16 did a tremendous job. All of you that tuned in, thank you. Thank you so very much for coming along with us on this ride of Guilty Gear. But before you go away, I just want to give a little bit of a chat, right? We want to talk about these glorious sponsors that helped us out running this event. And of course, that season pass roadmap that Nostra was just talking about, right? Baiken, the announced character with a new stage, hot off of that release from Happy Chaos. And there's still another character on the way and a little bit of another story on the way too for that first season 1 pass roadmap. And you know what? That action is alive and well. I mean, of course, if you don't have it now, why not just, I don't know, look at the Steam store real quick, because there's a sale going on.
It's on sale.
It's
on sale. Along with many other Arc System Works titles, but this is what we got to see. If you got the itch to play, if you were watching tonight, and you don't have Guilty Gear Strive, what's stopping you? We're lowering the bar. We're trying to get as many people coming in as possible because we want to get this game better and better. We want to increase the level of play, grow the community, have so much fun together as peers, as friends, as a community. Just we're popping off with every week. With every week, we're popping off. So much great Guilty Gear coming in for the future. So you might as well get in while it's early. You might as well. And it's such a great game too. It's such a great game. It's so many accolades, so many prizes, and we just got word just earlier this week in the Game Awards. We got
That's right. Last Thursday, Game Awards, fighting game of the year. Tremendous achievement here for Arc System Works and Guilty Gear Strive. So big congratulations. That also came from the help of all of you for creating what was quite honestly, one of the strongest openings for a fighting game to date right now. I mean, what, we hit that 1 million units sold within like a month's time or
it was
something
so
like that.
fast. It was
So
so fast.
thanks, well deserved. And I mean, honestly, it shows, right? Because we're able to have ARCREVO online again, but with Guilty Gear Strive this year and having matches, dream matches that, you know, we're able to see all across the world because of the work put into that. And of course, don't forget, ARCREVO still going on. Plenty of other events. I did mention earlier, Mexico is the next one. December 18th will be the start of that one. For you East Coast players, don't forget, it's January 15th. So get signed up for it. You get a little bit of a break, a little bit of training to do while leading up to that. Canada, we're not going to leave you out. You are a part of North America region. That is January 22nd for you. And then USA West will be February 5th. So be sure to register. You can check out the website arcsystemworks.com/ARCREVO America 2021.
Yeah, and these qualifiers, the winner of these tournaments are going to be sent straight to the ARCREVO finals. And the ARCREVO finals are also being supported by Hitbox. You can take control, go to hitboxarcade.com/ARCREVO. You can see the link right there on your screen. These controllers are fantastic. They're made by gamers for gamers. Clean, simplistic design. Really incredibly ergonomic controllers that are great for longevity for players who want to keep playing this game at the same level, the same rate that we do. I myself am always concerned with handheld as being a musician and being able to really just support my future in both gaming, in music, hobbies, all what have you. It's just such a great thing to have, especially with these controllers. So many fantastic players like Cloud805 and Reynold. We even got to see second place finisher Remy Celeste at CEO was playing on a Hitbox controller, I believe. And Diaphone, Hitbox cross-up player. You can also get the cross-up at hitboxarcade.com. And I hope to see more people taking control with these fantastic, fantastic, fantastic controllers.
Yeah, it's been taking the world by storm, much like how Low Kick has been hosting these weekly events, taking the online space by storm, and also those locals at 2 locations. You can check it out on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays as well, with plenty of Guilty Gear opportunities for you to check out and level up your game as well. So definitely feel free to tune into those weekly events. Signups will be available. And always check out twitter.com/lowkickesports for more information on those events.
Yeah, Low Kick holds a fantastic tournament. They were the ones that held ARCREVO Central US this evening. And they always run a clean ship. They always put on a clean production. I'm always happy to be a part of a Low Kick production.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a real pleasure to open up ARCREVO 2021 on the American side, from North America and downward too. So it's been great to start here. And I'm looking forward to this top 8 tomorrow, honestly. I'm really excited. Dastro, it's been a real pleasure to open things up with you. And big thanks to Jadelin and Dynamite earlier on for starting things out on the winner's side for top 16. And again, all of you for participating via the chat, tweeting it out, catching those clips and great moments that puts Guilty Gear on the map and puts such a great sheen of fantastic moments out there on the internet. It's been great. So that'll be it for now. Again, tomorrow, same time, 5 Central, we'll begin that top 8 for you, starting on the winner's side. I've been Zero. Oh, and also, here's the bracket. SQ up at the top, right? Don't forget Devil Chip right there, too. And then, of course, Flash Metroid, Jan in H-Town as well. That'll be that winner's side start. Then you got that loser's side, Trevor we saw, up against Flare G. And then I Am Rock up against Daze as well. It's going to be one heck of a show. A lot of these players, yeah, really. I mean, these players put in a ton of work to get to where they're at. I mean, looking at the pools, do go back and look at it. I hope that they were streaming some of their pools as well, because those matches are going to be insane to watch. It's quite the story for everybody that led here. But I do believe that's it. Dastro, it's been a real pleasure. Again, I've been Zero.
Yeah, always.
You can check me out at Zero Syndicate on Twitter. And Dastro, let them know where they can find you.
You can follow me at young_Dastro, hold the O. And It's been sick. It's been sick. It's been sweet. Great Guilty Gear to happen. Great in the future, and we hope to see you tuning in tomorrow, 5 p.m. Central, for some hefty top 8 action.
All right. Well, that'll do it here. Keep on rocking in later days.
お頼み申すお頼み申す卒じながら冥府はいずこ外道が笑えば民が泣く諸行に拉致なき沙汰あれば魔道の始末を請負いいたす己は美老の三品侍指導死に花無用の所存
お前を前にすると立ち止まったはずの俺が追いついてくるみたいでな。だが大丈夫だディライラ。大丈夫。
There's no way you'll believe me when I say this, but I'm really hoping you guys win. Because I'd like to see you again.
It took me 10 years to find the answer to something. I forgot about it in 2 seconds. That's about it.
I don't care about winning. I'm just here for the pleasure, not the fights. But you, see, this world is a broad, colorful carpet. But if you pull a single thread from beneath your feet and start to unravel it, you'll realize in the end that the carpet's just made of one long thread. That thread's is necessity. Everything is in it. One may witness an unfathomable sight and call it a miracle, but that's a misnomer. It's all cause and effect, and you should never mistake necessity for fate. Humans have the freedom of choice. Come play with me again.
Can't you see I'm blazing? Still my heart is blazing. If the words kill me, I don't need a new world over you. My tribe is my word. Your words will never let me disobey.
The most important thing for me is drama.